Live from Martinsville, Virginia, TNN, the Nashville Network, presents the Miller Genuine Draft 500. It is a beautiful day here in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. A little hazy overcast, but it's about 75 degrees. Far better than when the snow fell here on the original scheduled date of this doubleheader. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Martinsville. I'm Mike Joy. NASCAR's Busch Series is here. They're out in force. Tightly packed bunch, as we told you at the top of the show, for this point championship. And at this racetrack, with its long drag strip straightaways and tight turns, it's a real test. New race distance this year, 300 laps. That means definitely there will be a pit stop, and it means that brakes and tires will be more critical than ever before with the added distance. Well, I'm looking for Buddy Baker and Neil Bonnet. They've taught me everything I know about my racing. I wish they had taught me everything they know. I got a case of rusty wrist last weekend. And Neil's supposed to be down helping us figure out what's going on here, but he's been down working on the family sedan. His son David has entered in this race, trying to advance his own Busch Grand National career. So Neil has done most of his pre-race analysis from underneath the hood of this thing. I know he's got some good tips for us, though, on what makes this such a tough racetrack to run on and win on. Let's see if we can check with him now. Neil?
When you come to Martinsville, you better have some brakes on the cars. This is the normal size brake. Let me show you something, folks. This is what's on these race cars for Martinsville. Great big caliper with 6 pistons in it, solid metal brake pads. During the course of the day, this rotor right here will wear out, not these pads. Solid metal to metal to stop these cars. The little V6 motors, you put a real low gear in them to slow them down. They're turning them way in excess of 8,000 RPM. Along with the brakes and the motor, if they both last, you might run good today. If not, you got your day's work cut out to try to stop these cars. Mike, just as soon as I get this one straightened out, I'll be up in the booth.
Okay, Neil. Tires are a big story here, and I mean big. Hoosier has built a tire with a 1-inch wider tread and the same legal section width. And Hoosier cars have the whole front row. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett and meet the pole sitter.
Well, Mike, there's nobody that knows Hoosier tires any better than Butch Miller. One of the problems they've had in the past is withstanding the heat. You got a fast race car here today, Butch, but you think this tire is going to hold up for you?
I think it's an excellent tire. It's about basically the same tire we had here last fall. And I believe at the end of the race last fall, we were the fastest car out here. But let me tell you, this is a great day to be on the pole. You know, it's the day before Mother's Day. Mom's watching. I know, Mom. Hi, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. What a great day to be on the pole.
Well, best of luck to you, Butch. Now, starting right outside of Butch, on the outside of row 1 is Ward Burton. He also is running Hoosier tires. Ward in the Hardee's Buick won the race last week at Rougemont. 2 fast cars on Hoosiers on the front row. Hoosier tires, it might be their day, Mike.
Could be, Glenn. Well, joining Rusty and me on the disabled list, Terry Labonte, involved in that crash at Talladega. He had hoped to drive here in his Chevrolet. He didn't have to go very far, though, to find a relief driver. Let's go back to Glenn.
Well, starting on the inside of row number 2, and what a relief driver he is, Bobby Labonte, former Busch Grand National champ. Got to feel good to be back in Busch racing.
Well, it really does, Glenn. You know, Terry was a little sore from last weekend at Talladega, and he asked me, well, you know, how about coming to Martinsville to see if I'm going to be all right? And I came up here, and his ribs were still hurting him pretty bad, so he said, how about driving the car? So I did. And this is a good little race car. Mike Laughlin built the chassis on it, and the guys at the shop put a good body on it, and it's running real good. You know, we'll just have to see what it does here in this 300-mile race.
Well, it is a new race car. Bobby Labonte won the last Busch race here back in October. Now, before I send it back upstairs, we want to say hello to Rusty Wallace. Rusty's back home recuperating, watching us today. Glad you're out there, Rusty. Best of luck to you. Mike?
Well, he can run the remote control. I talked to him this morning, and I'll fill you in later on how Rusty's coming along. But right now, let's update you on the Busch Series as it comes here to Martinsville. Let's get things caught up to date. Here's Glenn Jarrett with the Haviland update.
Last week, the Busch Grand National Series was in Rougemont, North Carolina for the Roses Stores 300. Jeff Green was on the pole, but not for long as Ward Burton shot to the front in his Hardee's Buick. Troy Beebe hit the wall early and then tried to wade out the field, but he couldn't avoid a collision with Ricky Craven, and the nice guy soon saw plenty of sparks. Burton kept his lead, but not without hot pursuit by Chuck Bound and the rest of the field. Then on lap 48, rush hour hit as several cars got together, including Robert Presley, Shona Robinson, and Todd Bodine. Rookie Roy Payne lit up the night as he hit the front stretch wall, completing only 114 laps and knocking him to 4th in the rookie point standings. Shauna Robinson's night would end on lap 106 as she pinches Jeff Burton into the wall and then has her front end completely ripped apart by Jim Bound. Meanwhile, the electronic timing device on Burton's car malfunctioned, killing his engine and allowing Tommy Houston to take the lead on lap 116. Rookie Joe Bessie had a strong run as he started 16th in his Auto Palace Olds and would go on to finish 4th. Burton would not stay down long, though, as he took the lead back from Houston on lap 157. Steve Grissom took his Channel Lock Chevy from a 23rd starting spot to finish 3rd. David Green got a view from a different angle as he and Chuck Bound tangled in turn 3. When it was all over, Ward Burton would finish 1st and take home over $14,000 and his first victory since March of 1992. Here's how the points look after 7 races. Steve Grissom leads David Green by 13 points, followed by defending champ Joe Nemechek, rookie Hermie Sadler in 4th, and rounding out the top 5 is Tom Peck.
That was a wild one at Rougemont. We expect more of the same today at Martinsville. We'll be back with the starting lineup after this.
Man, we're out here to test. Nothing but rain. Hey, where's Mario?
2 champions sharing a winning formula. Haviland Formula 3.
I hear your power is looking good for you this year.
It's unbelievable.
Must run pretty hot in a tight draft, though.
Got that pretty well beat.
Complete professionals who rely on the same complete protection you can buy right off the shelf.
Yeah, I'm wide open all the time.
The only way to do it.
Haviland Formula 3 motor oil from Texaco.
Quit raining, please.
3 reasons not to buy BF Goodrich TA tires. Being the center of attention makes you uncomfortable. You think a Little Deuce Coupe is a place where tiny chickens are kept. You think Lug Nuts is a high-fiber cereal. BF Goodrich TA tires when you're ready to get serious.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
But now I'm a man, way past 21.
Hey, I like to save money as much as the next guy. But what are the odds that there's going to be a sale on the parts you need when your car breaks down? Baby, it's not going to happen. That's why I go to AutoZone. I mean, sure, you could wait around for a couple weeks and maybe beat their price by a few pennies someplace else. But I don't want to wait for a sale when I need a part. Now, what more could you ask for?
Today's exclusive TNN coverage of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 is being brought to you by BF Goodrich TA tires when you're ready to get serious. And by Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car.
They fired the engines here at Martinsville, Virginia. 300 laps for the Busch Series drivers. Mike Joy with Neil Bonnet and Glenn Jarrett. Sears Die-Hard battery, now with more power when you need it most. The starting grid for today's race. Let's have a look at the rundown. On the pole in the Food Country Olds, Butch Miller, 91.2 miles an hour, did not break Brett Bodine's record of March 87. Ward Burton, also on Hoosiers in the Hardee's Buick, is outside. Row number 2, Bobby Labonte and brother Terry's car, and Rodney Combs in a Ford. Great qualifying effort, new crew chief there. Jeff Burton in the Ford, Robert Presley in a Chevrolet share the 3rd row. In row 4, Mike Wallace with that great run here last October. He and Chuck Bound in row 4. Row 5 will be Tom Peck in a Chevrolet and Tracy Leslie's Olds. Row number 6, Tommy Houston in a Ford has to go all the way to the back. I'll tell you about that in a moment. David Green is right with him. Joe Bessie in an Oldsmobile and Todd Bodine Chevrolet share row 7. Row 8, Hermie Sadler's Olds and Bobby Daughter's Chevrolet. Row 9, Joe Nemechek in a Chevy. Tim Fiedel, the rookie, in a Ford. Row number 10, Ricky Craven Chevy and Jack Sprague's Chevrolet. Row 11 in Chevys, Roy Payne from Texas and Roger Sawyer from Virginia. In row 12, Jeffrey Green out of Kentucky in a Chevy and David Bonnet. Alabama gang, Generation 3. Michael Rich in an Oldsmobile and Richard Lassiter's Buick in row 13. Tommy Sigmund along with Shauna Robinson, 14th row. Then it's the point leader, Steve Grissom, way back in row 15 with Bobby Hamilton. And the 16th row, Nathan Butke and Ed Barrier got in on provisional starts. Tom Hessert was the only driver to take time and not make the field. We'll be riding in the Virginia is for Lovers Oldsmobile. Hermie Sadler, sponsored by the Department of Tourism here in the state of Virginia. He'll be starting 15th. You just see Tommy Houston drift to the back of the pack where he'll start. And there's a look at the rookie as he scrubs his tires and gets ready to go here. Chuck Bound in the Nescafe Pontiac, former series champion, a car prepared just up the street from Martinsville Speedway here. We'll start 8th. There is the race cam in Chuck's car. And there's our new little gadget sitting out there on the right window post where that outside mirror would be. And that's what it sees, right down the right side of the car. Or out the right side of the car. Or up the right side of the car. A lot of concrete, folks. That stuff's harder than it looks like. And also it'll shoot back and have us look at Chuck if we care to. That's the Nesty Nescafe Pontiac of Chuck Bow. One lap and we'll go racing. Weather today, well, it's suntan weather. Here at Martinsville, Virginia, right now, 68 degrees. It's going to the high 70s. Just a little bit of a breeze. You see how long the straightaways here at Martinsville? Turns are banked 12 degrees. The straights are flat. They're 800 feet each. 2 drag strips and 2 paper clip U-turns at each end, Neil. Quite a place.
Yeah, Mike, and I tell you what, 300 laps, they tack this other mileage on this race, and it's going to be interesting to see how aggressive these guys are early in the race, because they haven't ran this distance here, and it's tough on these cars.
NASCAR's All-Pro Series. Jody Ridley is the standout in that division, and they will compete for 200 laps later today. TNN will televise the Busch Grand National portion of this race. Tommy Houston went all the way to the back. In qualifying, they had a piece of lead ballast to make weight, and it wasn't bolted to the car. They had to get it in there quick, so they just tie wrapped it in, and it came loose. So to the back he goes.
Yeah, it just accidentally came loose. It wasn't something, it wasn't a lot of weight, but it moved him to the rear.
And we're under green for 300 laps at the Martinsville Speedway. Robert Presley has trouble going into turn number 1. He is way off the pace, way up in the 3rd groove. The car either will not come up to RPM or would not shift.
I don't know what is, Mike.
Oh, trouble. Around goes Rodney Combs. Hermie Sadler dives to the infield to miss him. Bobby Labonte has spun right in the middle of the whole pack.
Got another car. Yeah, they're all over the racetrack here. Let me tell you, the tires are cool on a race like this. Early in the race, it takes a lap or 2 to get some heat in them. Cause some trouble for some of the guys. Might be a blessing in disguise for Presley. He had a big problem. He can go in now.
Presley will stay on the lead lap as they come around. Well, let's see what happens. Lap 1.
That's Rodney Combs in the white car on the outside. He just got in there a little hot, it looked like. Back end broke loose. Come around right in front of the other guys.
Boy, Butch Miller almost collected him.
We see back in the back there, another car coming up on the curb.
Yeah, Bobby Labonte there in 14 got turned by Jeff Burton. Jeff had no place to go in the Baby Ruth car.
It just takes a little while to get the temperature up in the brakes, the tires, and everything for the cars to really get that feel that you want. And you got to be jockeying for position early, and the cars just wasn't under the guys like they needed to be.
Now there's Robert Presley. He is pitting, as is Bobby Labonte, for damage. Let's go to pit road. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, the problem appears to be that Presley's car will not go into gear. They're going to the left side here with the jack. Crew chief Ricky Pearson, who's nursing a bad back, is down on his back there, going up under it. He's going to have to manually put the car into high gear. Once he gets in high gear, gets going, it's fine, but it's really going to hurt him on these slow takeoffs here at Martinsville. But I don't think that they're going to be able to repair it, do anything other than just lock it into high gear. If they're not careful here, they're going to lose a lap.
Yeah, you're right, Glenn. They're coming off turn 4 right now. We see the guys trying to hurry, but they're up under the car. Now the question is, can he beat them out? He's in high gear. He's going to have a hard time to do it.
I think he's going to make it. You risk tearing the clutch out of the car when you got to accelerate in high gear like that. And now Presley, he's going again pretty good.
The only thing they got going for him here, Mike, is they got such a low gear in these cars. They'll almost take off in 3rd gear. So he was able to get the car going.
Of the cars that spun, all will be able to continue. Jeff Burton did not pit. He got into the back of Bobby Labonte, and Bobby went around. Rodney Combs also went to the back of the pack.
Going to give him the green this time. See everybody getting in there. Chuck Bound, he's cleaning those tires off. But they want the same thing to happen that happened just earlier. A little heat in them before they start this thing.
And there's Bobby Labonte. His brother Terry's car. I wonder what's going to happen now. He's got to race against the car he owns. Now, does he get a bigger percentage for driving Terry's car than he gets if his own car wins?
We'll probably find out before the day's over.
We might. We're back to green at lap 3. Check that lap 4 we just started here. And it'll be Ward Burton.
Boy, Ward really jumped out up there. You know, we saw the 75 on the pole, and Ward was able to get around him at the start. Now he's putting a little bit of distance on him.
Heck, Ward looks like he's still running last week's race.
Got a car spinning off turn 2 over here.
Hermie Sadler. He's going to get going again. I think we may stay green if he gets restarted.
Yeah, he got it going just as the leaders came by.
No caution.
Just went a lap down.
There you're watching from Hermie Sadler's car as you try to get back up to speed, and that's Tom Peck just ahead of him. You see Tom got whaled in the back in that melee on lap 1. Let's go back to the leader. Ward Burton in the Hardee's car, stepping out from Butch Miller. Mike Wallace is running 3rd. This looks almost like the finish of last fall's race here, Neil, except it was Bobby Labonte up front, but with Butch Miller and Mike Wallace running 2nd and 3rd on Hoosier.
Mike, it seems like when you find a guy that runs good at a particular track, he's good there all the time. These guys know how to get their cars set up for this track, and you've got to use a lot of discipline here, and these guys are capable of doing that.
Now we're at 5th place. Chuck Bound chasing Jeff Burton. That little smush he put into Bobby Labonte's car apparently did not hurt his a bit. The car just dances around a little as it comes off the corner, though.
Yeah, you're coming up off of concrete. It's a concrete pad in the center corner. You see them on the concrete here. And watch as they come off here. If they leave concrete, they go to asphalt right there, and it'll twitch a little bit as you get up off that part of the corner.
It changes surface. Burton the leader. In 2nd, Butch Miller. 3rd is Mike Wallace. And here's the race for 4th. Let's go back a little further. Back about 10th spot. Tim Fedoin is the rookie in the Pro-Cal Ford 55. And that's Joe Bessie from Maine. Out of turn 2, coming up alongside in the Auto Palace car.
Really working for position here. What's a big concern at this track is you want to get in front of the guy, but the key is being in front and getting some. Look at all the ducts on the front of these cars. A lot of that area, frontal area that's usually used to cool the engine is to cool the brakes. So if you follow a guy very long, they put a lot of heat in that braking system. So these guys don't like to follow in single file no more than they have to.
Bessie's caught up on that high side. Michael Rich in the 02 car. The People's Choice Olds got under him. And now here comes the 99 of Ricky Craven. Craven and Bessie have raced side by side for years up in the NASCAR Busch North Series. Craven's from Maine, as is Joe Bessie.
Boy, what you got to be concerned about, once you get that inside groove, you got to be careful and leave the outside guy enough room to get in down there without pinching up on the curb. And it's hard to judge how much room to give that man inside.
That battle is for 11th place. Bobby Dotter back there amongst them. Jack Sprague. Here are the 2 leaders, and they have checked out on the field. Now, we mentioned 3rd place Mike Wallace was on Hoosiers last fall. He is on Goodyear's today. The 2 front-running cars started on the front row, and Bob Newton's Hoosier Tire Company has the rubber underneath those 2. 13 laps are complete here at Martinsville, Virginia. There are the leaders. We'll be right back.
This is where it happened. The breakthrough in urethane chemistry that created Finish 2001. The car polish so advanced, you use it only once a year. This old car's finish appears destroyed. With no rubbing, no buffing, Finish 2001 safely brings back a shine that lasts an entire year. Nothing but nothing shines or protects better than 100% guaranteed Finish 2001. Finish 2001 is available at these fine stores.
Starting costs you to race in this business.
The winningest battery at NASCAR isn't a special racing battery.
I have well over 600 NASCAR starts with a Die-Hard battery.
It's exactly the same battery you can buy for your car at Sears.
You have to be crazy to come out here without a Die-Hard.
Sears Die-Hard, the official battery of NASCAR.
I have never had a failure on the starting line yet.
You can count on me.
Die-Hard. More power when you need it most.
A noble warrior advised, the art of protection springs from within. One must stay vigilant against one's unfragrant perspiration, lest one provoke a hostile response. Thus, a Norse ritual is Right Guard Sports Stick. An aromatic array of the freshest scents and maximum protection against disarming wetness. Confirming the wisdom The best defense is not to offend. Right guard sports stick. Anything less will be uncivilized.
Chunky is chunkier. Thick is thicker. Ortega's thicker, chunkier salsa. It's mix to the max.
Coming up on Winners, the story of the 1992 Winston Cup champion, the late, great Alan Kawicki, with interviews recorded shortly before a tragic airplane crash claimed his life. You'll see how Alan Kawicki did it his way, from the dirt tracks of Wisconsin to Victory Lane in Atlanta. The story of a man who set high goals for himself and gave so much to others.
Winners, Sports Sundays, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central on TNN.
Welcome back to Martinsville. 21 laps on the board. A 300 they'll run here today. New distance for the Busch Series cars. You're watching Ward Burton and Butch Miller running almost like they're in formation, Neil.
I tell you, they just seem content. The cars are capable of leading a race without really overworking the cars, and you don't see them really mixing it up with each other. I think as long as this race is, it's going to take a lot of discipline.
Let's look at some of the guys coming up through the pack. Here's point leader Steve Grissom. Now, Grissom started way up back in this field.
You know, he won up at Hickory when we were up there, Mike. He's got a real good race car. He just got off in qualifying. He's trying to work his way to the front.
Yeah, he started back in Roanoke, back in 29th position. There's Tommy Houston, who got sent to the back after that issue with the piece of lead ballast coming loose on his qualifying run. Houston's got a pretty quick car here, but he had to start way out back in 32nd spot. He had qualified 11th. Black flag on the Richard Lassiter car, showing a little bit of smoke. The High Point betting car. That lead pack back off into the corner once again. Mike Wallace now is reeling in the two leaders.
You're right, Mike. He's beginning just the last few laps. He's really been gaining on the guys. He's closed it up a lot in just a couple of laps. So we'll have to see how this works out.
Tommy Sigmund and Nathan Butke have both pitted both of their cars on the back straightaway. Bobby Labonte and Robert Presley also doing a nice job of coming back up through traffic. There's your front three. And they're beginning to get into lap cars now. Shauna Robinson in the Polaroid car just ahead of them, 35.
Mike Wallace still closing in.
And here's Robert Presley and Bobby Labonte.
As Glenn said earlier, it's not going to hurt him on the racetrack with that thing being in fourth gear. The only time he's going to have a problem is when he goes in the pits.
Back up front, Butch Miller gets alongside Ward Burton, and he's got the inside. Now, can Ward use Shauna as a pick? Yeah. Butch isn't going to fight him for that one.
No, it almost makes you wonder, you know, there was the 75 car that set on the pole.
Oh,
got the 6 car coming off fourth turn.
Houston spun all by himself. No yellow. We're going to stay green.
Yeah, just stay green. He got it going. They kept going.
And he'll lose all that ground that he gained. There's Bobby Labonte up the outside of him. Jeffrey Green.
Got a big dent in that door. Somebody looks like might have helped him turn around.
Yeah.
See a dent right behind the 6 and in front of that wheel.
Not a lot of racing room, is there, Neil? I mean, the track looks pretty wide. It's lined. If it was a freeway, it'd be lined 5 lanes wide. But a little different when you're out there.
You can see the part that they want to use right on that inside, Mike. That's the place where the cars go fast.
Yep.
We were talking a little bit earlier. You know, we saw the 75 car, Butch Miller, pretty well give up the lead a little bit. And then when it got the heat from Mike Wallace, he was able to get on around him. So, and then Ward Burton came right back around. It's hard to tell who's got the good car right. There's Ward leading the race. Butch Miller trying to pass him while ago, got caught on a lap car.
There's Joe Nemechek, he and Todd Bodine running just nose to tail, and they're about a straightaway behind the leaders. As the pack sorts out here, and the leaders now in heavy traffic. Rodney Combs in the Jebco Clocks Ford. Those are the folks who make those big clocks for a lot of the Winston Cup guys you see on the souvenir trailers. Helping Rodney out. Now there's Nemechek, the series champion. I don't know if you got a good look at the deck lid of Nemechek's car. We'll try to show it to you next time as he comes around. tracking Ty Bodine as they move up. But in honor of this special weekend, his mom, Martha, is his biggest fan. There's the deck lid, Happy Mother's Day, Mom, and then the Owen Mom is a big heart. They kept it all covered up until this morning. It was in USA Today yesterday, and they hid the papers from her, so she wouldn't find out about it till race day. So Happy Mother's Day to all the moms, and a special wish for folks that since last Mother's Day have lost their mom. Buddy Baker's mom passed away last month, and we want Buddy to know that he's in our thoughts today. 33 laps are complete here at Martinsville. Ward Burton up front. We'll be right back.
Everyone knows the ultimate thrill is worth waiting for. Hang on. Cliffhanger. Rated R. Starts Friday, May 28th at a theater near you.
Back in the older days, you know, before we had all the technology we had today with the computers and all the engineers, we was kind of self-made mechanics and race car drivers when the dirt was hitting us in the face and things like that. You know, we still got some of the tools around which we use today. If any tool was ever made better, it'd have to be made by Craftsman.
1,600 Craftsman hand tools, made in America, guaranteed forever.
You just had your wrenches and you just had your box of tools and a race car and you went racing.
Only at Sears.
Why use Valvoline motor oil? It's the #1 choice of Indy 500 chief mechanics. Daytona 500 chief mechanics. NHRA mechanics. And Baja 1000 mechanics. For use in their race cars and in their own cars. Any more questions? People who know use Valvoline.
Introducing the Polaroid One Step with a sharp new look.
Throw your hands up, flip your head back, come on, let's share a smile now, we're all together now, everybody's jumping now, ride Polaroid.
If you want to pick up the fun, pick up the newly styled Polaroid One Step camera and plenty of film, because when the film runs out, so does the fun. Hang on for the ultimate adventure of the summer. Cliffhanger. Rated R. Starts Friday, May 28th at a theater near you.
Mom, wish you were in Martinsville. It's Mother's Day. We're having a good time. You should be here, but I see you when you get to Charlotte. Love you. Bye. Love you, Mom. We qualified 7. I'll see you next week when I get home.
Yeah, but did you send her a card?
He just did.
I think I better go to the post office. A little late, a little tardy with that this year.
I think moms have already learned to be real patient with racers. Very seldom they home on any holidays, but nice to see them thinking about mom.
Car up in the wall at turn 2.
Guess who?
Your son.
That's going the wrong way.
David Bonnet. Getting up there in the fence, and that will put us under the second caution flag of the day. It comes out of lap 41 for the Restore Plastico Chevrolet.
Ooh.
And David Green has spun up in turn 4 after the caution flew.
You know, it seems like we've had a lot of that. You know, had a caution earlier.
He better get going or he's going to get lapped. Here comes the pace car.
His car's running good, too.
Ooh, watch that curb.
Ooh, there we go off the curb.
Didn't see how that one got started. I was busy watching you reaching for your wallet after David got up into the fence there.
Yes, sir.
Jeez. Hope you teach him better than you taught me.
Your wrist, you'll get over that wrist injury, Mike. That's just a part of it, man.
Got to get over. We're racing Pocono tomorrow. I got to get over it. Let's show you what happened up here again to David Green up at turn 4. As the Pontiac safety car leads him around. Watch the top left corner of your screen.
Oh, yeah. See the blue car up under him. It's hard to tell who that blue car. They got together right there. See David Green backing around, headed up to the wall. Here comes the blue car right here that got together with him. It's hard to tell who it was. They definitely got a little bit of help. I don't know whose fault, but the two of them got together and turned it around.
Well, I can tell you who it could have been, but that wouldn't be fair. So we're on to the second caution of the day. So at lap 42, since we're under yellow, they're doing a little quick cleanup work. David Bonnet and Jack Sprague come to pit road, and we'll be right back.
He's country's hottest superstar.
Just learning to live again.
Plus Diamond Rio on the Grand Ole Opry Live. Tonight at 8:30 Eastern on TNN.
Lennox Lewis of Great Britain is the WBC heavyweight champion. Tony Tucker of the United States is a former heavyweight champion. Lennox Lewis is 6'5" and weighs 220 pounds. Tony Tucker's 6'5" and weighs 235 pounds. Lewis has won 22 fights, 19 by knockout. Tucker has 48 wins, 38 by knockout. Lewis is undefeated. Tucker lost only once in 12 rounds to Mike Tyson. On May 8th, Lewis will fight Tucker for the heavyweight championship. Which man will win? Why, it's as simple as red, white, and blue. Lewis versus Tucker, heavyweight championship, Saturday, May 8th, live on pay-per-view. Call your cable company.
Welcome back to Martinsville, Virginia. It's TNN, the network that brings you more bush racing live than all other networks combined this year. Proud to be in Martinsville, Virginia for this, I guess we call it a snow out, Neil. We don't call it a rain out.
And I tell you, what a turnaround from a snow out to a heat out. It's plenty hot up here. I just noticed a couple of the other cars pitted on that caution bike, and we see people taking bite out. We came to the racetrack this morning. The sun was out. Everybody's judging say it's going to get loose. A lot of the guys tightened the cars up, and the ones that did come in, about 4 or 5 cars came in and took some bite out. So track's changing on them right now.
Let's check with Glenn.
Check with the 2 leaders, the 75 car and the 2 car. Both of their crew chiefs say their cars are a little tight too, but they expected that. Other than that, everything's okay. We're back to racing.
You're riding with Hermie Sadler off into turn 1. Lapped cars restart on the outside here in Martinsville. Roger Sawyer just ahead of Sadler there. And that'll give Ward Burton a little bit of breathing room. There's Butch Miller, the second place car. The indication from tape that was Shauna Robinson that did get back into the back of David Green on that caution.
Here we
See
go.
that car just jump as it hits the concrete.
Yep, we're right on that. See that little curve. Once you come off the concrete, right here you hit the asphalt. Car wants to twitch around. You drive down in. Here we go off the pavement, right onto the concrete. The car really sticks right there. But drive right up on the back of Butch Miller right here. You got to follow close now. Stick it over the left. I mean, that's just the pattern here. Get a bite up off that concrete. Move over. Not necessarily if you're going to pass the guy, but just let him always think inside where it gives you a little bit of room.
David Green has come to pit road. Evidently, he may have done some damage. Nope, black flag for jumping the restart. Stop and go penalty. Green is back out. Is he going to lose a lap here? I don't think so.
Here comes a whole lead pack in around him. He's going to have to work as good as Ward Burton's running. That's going to put him in position.
Oh, trouble in one, and there goes Sawyer. Spinning. He was side by side with Tracy Leslie. Ed Barrier goes around. Grissom gets in the back of Rodney Combs, and it's a parking lot in turn 2.
Boy, when they stack them up, then there's nowhere to go.
Caution, a lap 48. Before we get replays, I spent some time on the phone with Rusty Wallace this morning, and as you know, he badly hurt his left wrist in that crash at Talladega. Scott Sharp, the former SCCA Trans Am champ, practiced Rusty's brand new road race car out at Sears Point in California, and we'll fill you in a little more on this a little later. Right now, since we're under caution, it's a good time for us to take a pit stop from Martinsville, Virginia. Bush Racing Live on TNN continues right after these messages.
Son, what do you think of when you think of Florida? Florida orange juice and me, right?
No, just Florida orange juice.
Oh, well, I'm going to be the official spokesman for Florida orange juice, and I'm perfect for it.
for it.
I think I'm perfect for it. It's full of vitamin C and minerals. There's pure, natural, get up and go in every glass. 100% pure Florida orange juice will get you on your feet.
That's my line. Just be cute.
Okay, go ahead and try it.
100% pure Florida orange juice. Get you on your feet.
Trust me, Dad. I'll sell it. You do the cute part.
If you're looking into faucets, Peerless means plenty. America's leading do-it-yourself faucet. In hundreds of styles and finishes. All made with solid brass valve construction. And all warranty for as long as you own your home. The best made, best back, do-it-yourself faucets in America. That's what Peerless means.
TNN's exclusive coverage of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 is brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts.
Still under caution here in Martinsville, Virginia, and a number of cars involved. Steve Grissom came in for repairs. Shauna Robinson. I think you'll see this was started with Tracy Leslie side by side with the 05 car.
You hear they go down the corner. We see Grissom almost make it through. He gets pinched there. There's Rodney Combs going around the outside. Just really stacked everybody up, getting in the corner, nowhere to go. I was wondering we didn't have more cars than that.
Looked like Tommy Houston up there in it. And you can see the damage to Shauna Robinson's car. She's been in a couple of them today. Add the 99, Ricky Craven, to that list that was involved. And tough break there, lap 48. We're going to have one hot night of racing for you coming up. It's the Winston. It's live Saturday night, May 22nd from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Last year, if you were there or if you saw it on TV, it was probably, Neil, a night like no other.
Mike, just the spectacle, the night racing, and then the show we had. My goodness, I don't know if they topped that one again, but they'll certainly put out an effort.
It'll be tough to top, but you'll want to see it live here on TNN Saturday night, May 22nd. NASCAR's All-Star Night, the Winston. On the restart, Ward Burton pulls away from Hermie Sadler, who is one lap down, restarting the outside lane. Butch Miller is second. Mike Wallace is third. Jeff Burton is fourth. Fifth is Chuck Bound. Sixth is Tracy Leslie. Seventh is Tom Peck. Joe Nemechek's up to eighth. Todd Bodine is ninth, battling with Bobby Dotter and Tim Fedowa. Then it's Roy Payne, Bobby Labonte, Jack Sprague. That caution flag, big break for David Green. He had come to pit road to fix something damaged in the earlier accident at lap 41, and I don't believe he has lost a lap.
Hermie Sadler was able to get a good jump on the start. He's right behind Ward Burton. He's in between the two leaders. He's concerned about getting a lap back here. The 25 car is in between the first and second place, and he's going to battle, try to get a lap back.
And it seems like the longer they ran under Green, the better that car worked against Ward Burton. Now, we don't know what kind of pace Burton is setting. Is he running the car flat out, or is he holding some in reserve? He's been able to hold that lead and fend off any challenges.
Mike, he's been good here ever since they unloaded the cars and practice and everything. There's a good chance he's got a lot of race car under him, and he's just kind of running a good pace.
He and Butch Miller, the front two cars, are on the Hoosiers. And again, NASCAR measures the width of the tire at the sidewall. That's the widest part of the tire, and that's where it has to fit the NASCAR template. So the tire companies can build any type of tire with any tread width they want, as long as it doesn't exceed the section width of the tire. The tire that Hoosier has brought here has 1 inch wider tread than the Goodyear. Times 4 tires, that's a bit more rubber on the road.
Makes a big difference, Mike. And, you know, compound enters into it, and he's had a good compound at this particular track last few races. And along with the width and the compound, they've got a good tire for this place so far. We just have to see if the heat gets to them.
Bob Newton, president of that small Indiana tire company, was all smiles this morning. Butch Miller has gotten past Sadler. That gives the two Hoosier cars a buffer between themselves and Mike Wallace, who was on Hoosiers last fall. There's Wallace in that jade and pink colored car, the FDP Brakes car, in third. Smoke out of the 5 car again, Richard Lassiter.
Yeah, Mike, they just black flagged him the last lap by. They black flagged him a couple times. I don't think he's seen the flag. They won't do it, but just 2 or 3 times they'll pull the scorecard.
And that's the High Point betting car, and he has now dropped to the inside.
Yeah, he saw the flag that time. They either called him on the radio. Boy, Burton has really stretched him a little bit of a lead right here because of that lap car in between there. Now Butch Miller's gotten around the 25 and see if he can run him back down.
Well, let's find out how hard Ward is running. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, this is Freddie Fryer. Freddie's one of the reasons that Ward's car is running so well. Freddie, Ward seems to be running really well right now. Is he saying anything about how the car feels?
Well, he's complained a little bit about the Hardy Buick pushing a little bit, but it seems like he's walking away from them, so I don't have a problem with it right now. I think the track will loosen up as it goes along, and we'll be in good shape.
Right, is he running the car as hard as he can, or is he just setting an easy pace now?
I hope he has a little left. I think he's kind of pacing it.
Well, as I said when I started, Freddie Fryer is one of the main reasons this car is running so well. They won last week, got things going his way right now.
What Benny Parsons saw when he was driving called momentum. They've got it.
Boy, Glenn hit the nail on the head when he's talking about Freddie Fryer. Freddie has raced for years. He's got a lot of talent reading race cars and working on them, and that's a good asset for that team.
Is he really as old as Red Farmer?
He told me he went and watched Red when he was a kid.
Maybe so.
But everybody watched Red when they were a kid.
Right. All right, there's first and second out the windshield of Hermie Sadler's car. Ward Burton the leader. That Hardy's Buick going for 2 in a row. 27 times that's happened in the Busch Series history. Consecutive or back-to-back victories. There's Butch Miller, the second place car, the Food Country USA car. And in third, number 9, is Mike Wallace. The FDP brakes. Oldsmobile. Duron paint wallpaper, putting the color to that car. Jeff Burton is in fourth in the Baby Ruth Ford. He's going to run the Winston Cup race up at Loudon, New Hampshire in a Jack Roush car, Roush engine from Mark Martin's shop. But they're going to run it under TIC Financial.
Boy, that'd be a good opportunity for him to get in a good race car. Roush brings some good cars to the racetrack. He's got the built to bring 2 or 3 cars and still win.
Should be fun. Here's Chuck Bound, former series champ. He's running in 5th. There's what Chuck's looking at down the straightaway here in Martinsville and down into the corner. Trying to get close to, but not onto, that 4-inch high concrete curve. And right behind there's Tracy Leslie. Leslie in 6th. In the Detroit gasket car, Tom Peck in the SK Tools Chevrolet is 7th. Close competition here. There's 8th place right there. Series champ Joe Nemechek, the Dentine Chevrolet.
We heard Nemechek at the top of the show saying he needs to win a race. When you've got someone to come off a championship run like Joe did, he's discontent with running 2nd, 3rd, 4th, which is good. He's wanting to win. And that team has plenty their cars have always worked good on this tracks like this. And Joe certainly want to win a race.
He's in 8th place right now. Back in 9th will be Todd Bodine in the Fiddle Faddle Chevrolet. As we pull out, there's Todd, a Clyde McLeod wrenched car. CC and Welliver entry. He is in 9th, and hot on his heels comes Bobby Dotter in the DeWalt Tools car. And Bobby is getting the black flag. You'll see the Dotter's car, the 08, is trailing a bit of smoke. And he'll pull in. Tough break. So that's your top 10 at 70 of 300 laps. Bobby Dotter comes to pit road. And we'll be back with more of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 from Martinsville right after this.
Man, we're out here to test. Nothing but rain. Hey, where's Mario?
2 champions sharing a winning formula. Haviland Formula 3.
I hear your power is looking good for you this year.
It's unbelievable.
Let's run pretty hot in a tight draft, though.
Got that pretty well beat.
Complete professionals who rely on the same complete protection you can buy right off the shelf.
I'm wide open all the time.
Hey, only way to do it.
Haviland Formula 3 motor oil from Texaco.
Quit raining, please.
When the job is tough, you need the best. And when you need the best, you reach for Channel Lock. For the power. The precision. For just plain counting on, there's only one. Channel Lock. Be sure you're getting genuine Channel Lock tools. Look for this trademark.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than
looking up parts or ringing up sales. Most of all, it's listening. Because my customers know more about their cars than I'll ever know. They know every rattle by heart. I mean, that car is their baby. So when they've got a problem they're going to fix for themselves, I'm going to do my best to help them get whatever they need, no matter what it takes. Because people like that, they don't deserve anything less than the best I can give them.
Tomorrow morning, get up at 5.
Dang. Wake up.
That's what Dave Thomas does to get everything for Wendy's Garden Spot Salad Bar. He gets the best tomatoes, sweetest bell peppers, crunchiest carrots, vegetables fresh from the farm. Because that's what Wendy's salad do-it-yourselfers love in their salads. Wendy's Garden Spot Salad Bar. You can't make a fresher salad unless you get up with Dave.
Already?
What drives Darrell Waltrip?
I like to compete against the other guys. Your skills against the other guy's skills. Out-drive, out-think, outsmart, whatever. It's a real chess game for me. And I get a big thrill out of that. I love racing. I can't think of a better way to make a living. I never want to do anything else.
Darrell Waltrip and TNN Motorsport. When it comes to live NASCAR racing, no one plays as hard.
Power plays on TNN Motorsport.
Hi, Mom. Happy Mother's Day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Riding with Chuck Bound into turn 1 of Martinsville. 78 laps have been completed. Ward Burton lapping in some heavy traffic. David Bonnet had been battling side by side with Richard Lassiter, and Burton says, I can't wait on that. Took him 3 wide down the front stretch.
Good race car when you can do that, Mike. He was able to turn the car down above turn 4 and just drive by both of them. His car is working well all the way around the track.
Butch Miller a little further back in that pack of traffic.
Big puff of smoke out of one.
And Roy Payne is around in turn 2. He was involved in quite a battle. That'll give us a caution at lap 80. Driver the Hyde Tools Chevrolet. They got a big employee day coming up there in 2 weeks up in Southbridge, Massachusetts, where they make those paint scrapers and utility knives. They're going to take him over to a grade school, introduce them to auto racing and their race car and what the sport is all about.
Here we go down the corner. We'll see. That's Grissom in a 31. The 27 car just got in there a little hard on the inside, probably giving that outside lane away. Back end broke loose, overcorrected, back out across the track.
Looked like if he hadn't got down into the curb, he might have saved it. There's Tracy Leslie smoking a good bit.
Yeah, that one's history right there, folks.
He comes out the pipe.
It was starting to do it just a little bit under the green, and now they're running around caution. There goes the rest of it. There will not be any mosquitoes in this area for a while. They'll clear them out.
Would you drive that thing up to my house for about a day? Clean them out. Mike Wallace is on pit road with the hood up. Tough break for top 5 finisher here last October. Glenn Jarrett moving into position to get a look at it as a real tough break for the middle Wallace brother. And he's going to Charlotte to run the Busch and the Winston Cup race later this month.
We'll see Presley pull right in their front. Let's see if they're just going to put fuel. I was wondering if they were going to jack it up and try to find the problem. When you have a transmission problem like that, it's the best thing just leave it alone and live with that thing in 4th gear. You get to messing around with it and you'll get it hung in 2 gears and it won't run a lick. So they're just going to put some fuel and send him on his way.
Well, we'll get an update from pit road in a moment here. 82 laps are complete at Martinsville. There's Roy Payne's car. Working on the left rear. Trying to straighten out a little sheet metal damage there. Trying to get that trunk lid bungee corded down and get him squared away. So while they work on that, we'll take this pause from Martinsville Speedway. You're watching NASCAR Busch Series Racing live on the Nashville Network. Stay with us.
Trimmer? Badger.
Introducing the Trimmer Plus system from Ryobi. Gas or electric, it's 5 tools with a unique ability to share the same mechanical brain. An edger, a trimmer, a cultivator, a vacuum, and a blower, making work on your own greens not only easier, but, dare we say, fun.
One of these days it's going to be all yours, but not till I'm dead.
The NASCAR racing circuit. It's no place for the timid. That's why Craftsman, and only Craftsman, was chosen the official tool of NASCAR. 1,600 Craftsman hand tools, made in America, guaranteed forever.
You can count on me.
Only at Sears.
Okay, 3 reasons not to buy BF Goodrich TA tires. The only hairpins you're comfortable with are the ones your grandmother uses. You get white knuckles on a dime store pony. You think 55 miles an hour is quite fast enough, thank you. BF Goodrich TA tires when you're ready to get serious.
Performax from Pennzoil. New synthetic motor oil with Pennzoil's exclusive star molecule. Protects engine parts at ignition. Works like liquid ball bearings. Hangs tough during the most extreme driving conditions. Flows in severe cold. Performax from Pennzoil. Keeps its cool in extreme heat. Performax from Pennzoil. Fights against failure at friction max out. Performax. Protects to the max.
We're back in Martinsville under the last lap of caution here. Tracy Leslie's car is being pushed toward the transporter. He'll join Tommy Sigmund and Bobby Hamilton out of the race. Nathan Butke spent 57 laps behind pit wall, but he's back. And this is not the track surface breaking up. The surface in the low part of these corners is concrete. That's not asphalt breakup. It's something else.
Mike, that's the tires coming up, pulling up. They get such a bite on that concrete, it actually pulls the rubber off and sticks it to the concrete. When this race is over, they go out there with scrapers and actually scrape the concrete loose like with a putty knife. If the tires stick so good in that concrete, it just pulls it off the tires.
What do you get for tire temps here, Neil? How hot is that rubber?
220, 240 degrees, just like chewing gum. When the compound works out where it sticks, just like chewing gum.
Green flag. At lap 86. And Joe Bessie's going to try to get a lap back from Ward Burton, but nobody's had anything for Burton all day.
See, Burton had to give him that outside lane. It looked like he had him cleared, but Burton's being extra cautious as good as his car's running. And he pinched it down and made sure he's got around him now before he moves over.
Todd Bodine got a bit of a slow restart, but now it appears he's up to speed. So it's Burton. Butch Miller still second. Jeff Burton had a run at Butch in that white car, the Baby Ruth Ford. Up off of 2, you see him glued onto the back of Butch Miller's bumper. Had a run on him last time around for second, but now he's going to have to look to the outside to get past Joe Bessie. Tommy Houston made a pit stop under caution. There were several pit stops, in fact, as the cars go off into turn 1 here. Let's check on pit road. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, those pit stops are won by Tommy Houston. He's got brake problems. They're working on them, but if you got brake problems this early at Martinsville, you're in for a long day. The problem that Mike Wallace had, they went to the left side, the right side of the engine. He's got a valve train problem. That too could be terminal. That's too bad because that car was running off too well. But they got him back out there right now. We'll keep an eye on it.
Shauna Robinson lets go down the front straightaway. Big cloud of smoke spins in what is either her own oil or water. And Mike Wallace couldn't see her. He was coming into turn 1. It was a huge cloud, and he just couldn't see where the car was. The spotter also couldn't quite locate the car, was trying to guide Mike high, and he didn't quite get around in time. And so that's another little dent in the door of the Don Beverly car. And that looks like the end of the day for Shauna.
I tell you what, with that oil on the track, it's hard to make a car turn. There's Wallace's car. You see how much he took a lick right on the left front. He was having a little bit, I think he was having a little bit of problem slowing down anyway. Here we are coming down the front straightaway. You see the motor explode at start-finish line. Well, she couldn't get the car slowed down. You see Wallace dive to the inside. Okay, now the liquid's all over the racetrack. She's going to back up. Big cloud of smoke, just like I said. Here he comes in, trying to go down, can't get stopped, and right into the door.
Yeah, you can see he's got the wheel cut. He's hard on the brake. He just couldn't get away from her in the fluid down in turn 1. Shauna's okay. Waiting the record to bring that car back to pit road, see if it can be fixed. Now I'll finish the Rusty story. They've got him working with a tennis ball, trying to get a little strength back into that left wrist, but he says it's very difficult to squeeze. He's going back up Monday to see Dr. Terry Trammell up in Indianapolis, who is the cart surgeon in residence, if you will, orthopedist, and try to get him squared away and fitted with something that will allow him to practice and start the car at Sears Point. in 2 weeks' time.
Mike, I tell you what, racers are the greediest people in the world. We're sitting here saying, boy, it's risk. You wish you could start Sears Point. My goodness, just thank goodness he was able to get out of that car, as violent a wreck as it was, and still be no hurt, no worse than he is now. It's, boy, what a miracle.
Good, safe race car. He's got sore ribs, but he's going to be okay. Scott Sharp is going to be standing by to drive that car. Had a good practice run out there. Well, race fans, if you think you know NASCAR racing, we're going to show you a photo, and we want you to spot the error in the TNN photo fake-out game. Prepare to be faked out.
Can you spot what's wrong with this picture? If you can win a trip for two to the Slick 50 500 in Phoenix, Arizona on October 31st. Just call 1-900-454-4TNN. Each call costs 95 cents per minute. Average call 2 minutes. No phone call necessary to enter. Or send your answer along with your name, address, and phone number on a postcard to this address. All correct entries will be eligible to win the grand prize, a consumer sports package of the make and model of the winning race car of the Lane Co 200, airing on TNN May 23rd. The winner of this TNN Racing Photo Fakeout game will be announced Sunday, May 16th on race day. Be sure to tune in to the Lane Co 200 on TNN May 23rd to find out who wins the grand prize.
What do you think, Neil?
Mike, I think I got this one again. I always get these fake-out deals, but the last Rusty Wallace car I saw, this difference in this one. This one's got a body on it. The last one was a set of roll bars on Rusty laying there. I'm telling you, I believe I got this one figured out. Rusty doesn't mind me joking a little bit. He's watching us today. He's just glad he can be there.
Yeah, right. Well, Neil, you write that down and send it in, and we'll see.
There goes Shauna walking back to the garage.
She's had a tough day.
Yeah, she's had a couple little bumps off going on during the day, and then the motor cut loose. And I tell you, where it blew up at the start-finish line, you're really turning a lot of RPM, and there was no way to get it slowed down that quick getting in the corner. She just turned it around.
Tough break for the young driver from Iowa. While we're under caution, let's sneak in another commercial at you. We'll be right back.
He's country's hottest superstar.
Just learning to live again.
Plus Diamond Rio on the Grand Ole Opry Live. Tonight at 8:30 Eastern on TNN.
The Disney Channel is proud to present
What would I do?
a celebration of the special bond between mother and child. Join Mary Chapin Carpenter, Roseanne Cash, Gloria Estefan, Carole King, Emmylou Harris, and many more when they sing tender songs of love to their children.
So glad you are.
The exclusive world television premiere, Child of Mine, Songs to Our Children.
A brilliant young player sees his dreams shattered.
You got a blind side, Doug.
A champion watches the prize slip through her fingers.
I didn't know it was gonna end up like this.
Can two people from different worlds...
Those are figure skates, pal. I told you this was ridiculous.
...share a dream?
Talking about an Olympic gold medal. You want to win, don't you?
Moira Kelly and D.B. Sweeney in The Cutting Edge.
Here at Martinsville, Virginia, Ward Burton has led every lap. Butch Miller was alongside him a time or two. Jeff Burton in third.
Here runs Hermie Sadler.
And here's Hermie Sadler going to move up behind Joe Bessie and the rest of that pack. He'll be restarting right behind David Bonnet. Let's get a quick word from Glenn.
Well, Mike, this is Barry Owen, owns the car that Mike Wallace is driving now. In his hand, he's holding some gunk glass cleaner. They've been spraying that under the hood of the car. What does that do? There's no glass under there.
Well, we've got a mess in the engine, and this will tell us if we spray it on the headers, and depending on how quick it burns off the headers, we can pick which cylinder it is.
Now, what about that? The little crash there didn't do any real damage to the car?
No, no real problem, but we still got a miss.
Okay. Isn't that amazing? Glass cleaner.
How about that? Boy, start. And Ward Burton does not get up to speed. Joe Bessie's going to beat him down to turn one.
No, Mike is a...
Oh, and there he goes. He beat him all right. A lot of speedy dry down in turn number one, and Joe took it in at what would normally be a good speed to enter turn one, but with all that oil dry on the corner, he's going to sit up there between 1 and 2. He's going again. We're going to stay green. What a tough break for Joe Bessie.
Ward Burton got a little bit of a slow start. Bessie got that big jump on him. Thought he had him and just got in turn one a little bit hot. Couldn't hold it down.
Right behind Burton, that'll be Ed Barrier, who got caught up in the lap 48 crash in turn 1. Barrier lap down. Butch Miller is second. Bobby Dotter coming up trying to get a lap back. Jeff Burton is third. Chuck Bowd is fourth. Fifth is Tom Peck. Sixth, Joe Nemechek. Seventh, Todd Bodine. Mike Wallace posted or checked that Bobby Labonte in 8th. David Green in 9th. Jeff Green in 10th. Unofficially, Ricky Craven 11th. Steve Grissom is 12th. Jack Sprague in 13th. Robert Presley, Roy Payne, Tim Fedowa, Tommy Houston, and Mike Wallace, the cars on the lead lap unofficially. There's Bobby Dotter. He had been black flagged earlier for smoking. Back out on the racetrack. Richard Lassiter's back out. He's getting black flagged again. A lot of smoke from his car.
Yeah, Mike, they're going to abuse these cars a lot today. You know, we're just now, this is the 100th lap. Now we're back to the normal Busch race of 200 laps.
Yeah.
And we're already used up a lot of these cars, so it's going to take a good one to survive today.
There's Ed Barrier trying to get around Butch Miller. He is a lap down, trying to gain it back, but Butch has the inside. You're riding with Hermie Sadler. Right behind Todd Bodine. Oh, and Butch got a little bump there from Barrier. Jeff Burton tried to take advantage. Nothing there. Neil, it would seem that your top RPM at the end of the straightaway compared to your lowest RPM in the middle of the corner is probably a greater spread here at Martinsville than any place we go.
Mike, in any place you race, you go down the corner, you stand on the brakes, you probably drop the motor down to 5,000 RPM. And normally where you would turn a motor 81 or 8200, you'll turn it 84 or 85 here just to be able to stop the car. So you abuse it. You make the motor work a severe cycle every lap. Up, down, harder than it ever does. And it really strains the car.
Seems where most motors let go here at Martinsville is down toward the end of the straightaway, because just as you let off and you're chunking that rod the other way and using that compression breaking into the corner along with your brake pedal, and it seems some of those rods don't care for that kind of treatment.
Yeah, they're made to go, not to stop. They're made to have that compression on the top, shove the rod down, not to use it as back pressure like a truck does with a Jake brake. That thing's not made for that, and it's what pulls the rods out of it.
Riding with Hermie Sadler, he's one lap down, chasing Todd Bodine, who is on the lead lap. There's Sadler's number 25, the Virginia's for Lovers car. Ed Barrier has dropped back from the leaders now. Pretty clear sailing for Ward Burton and Butch Miller. They've been out ahead of most all of the bramming and bamming that's gone on here.
Boy, it's nice to have a good car like that when you're on a tight track. You can kind of dictate the pace that the whole field runs. When they can set out front like that and kind of ease it along, boy, that thing is a lot of fun in that car.
So Nemechek and Todd Bodine moving up on Tom Peck, and looked like Peck and Barrier had gotten a little bit together going in the corner. Barrier got off the gas and Nemechek eased into him there. No harm done.
Now these cars, under the skins of these cars, there's a lot more roll bars than on a normal speedway car. They're made to push and shove, beat and bangle it. You'll see them make a good bit of contact and it won't show up so much.
Bobby Dotter back to the pit, smoking once again. Bobby Labonte clears the Sadler car. Bodine.
Nemechek really working, trying to get around Peck here. He was able to run down those other cars. He's caught Peck. He's going to try him. You know, that inside is so protective, he'll almost have to step outside a little bit, take a look, see if he can do anything out there.
It just doesn't seem to have the engine to get up and under Tom Peck coming off the corner. There they are up in turn 1, top of your screen. I mean, Joe's got the line down on the bottom, but Tom Peck's pulling him pretty well off the corner.
There's something that enters into this, Mike. When you're running for the championship and you're running all the races and you got a lot of line, you've got to think about abusing that motor. You got to be concerned with points. You might not be able to pull as low a gear as some of the other guys. So there he goes. He's got it down now. He's got the nose stuck on him right there. The question is, does Peck know he's there? Yep. Tom moved over and Nemechek was inside, gave him that inside line. But Peck got a good run off there. Now he's cleared and going down turn 3.
Nemechek is third in the points, but Peck is fifth. Not that far out. Let's go back up front. Ward Burton has had things pretty much his own way. Got off the plane last night. Greensboro, went over to Steve Barney's, the Ferrari dealers, and drooled on the window. And then I stopped at Hardee's. They got a peach milkshake, and it's about 50% peaches and the rest milkshake.
And low calorie. Low calorie.
I wasn't counting. It was good. Bobby Labonte is now right in front of the car he owns, driven by David Green, who is chasing the championship. Bobby driving for Terry, his brother, injured at Talladega. Sore ribs, couldn't drive this race. Here's the field standing update brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. At 1/3 distance, you'll see how they were running as this freight train rolls on through Martinsville, Virginia.
I don't know if he's going to pull up and tap on the boss's bumper or not. I think I'd think about that move, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's not too good for job security, is it? Well, you know, you got to know one thing. When you got your teammate, such as it is behind you, can you breathe a little easier, drive a little easier?
Yeah, I don't think you're so much concerned about him coming up there and wrapping you in the rear,
yeah.
But I'm sure that Labonte knows the 44 cars kind of ran him down a little bit. He also doesn't want to hold that car up.
No, that's true. Bobby was involved in the lap 1 crash up in turn number 4. Jeff Burton got into the back of them as they were all trying to slow for that incident. Bobby got turned around to the back of the pack.
Looks like Labonte's pulled out on him just a little bit. Boy, the 44 car really gets down in the corner good. Car makes a good strong run in and sticks on the bottom.
That's a good race car. Bobby spends about half his week over Bill Davis's working on his Winston Cup car, and half his week working on the shop on this car driven by David Green. It's his birthday, and last night Donna got Bobby a brand new rider lawnmower to take care of the 2 acres. She said, go out in the garage and chase down that.
75 and 8.
There's a pass for second place. Jeff Burton getting past Butch Miller.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike, as they came off the 4th turn, the 8 car just laid the nose right up on 75 and pushed him all the way up off the corner. Good pass. When he got right beside, coming off 4, he just drove right up beside him and had him cleared.
Took a while to run him down and get him, but Jeff has done it. Now he's driving away from Butch Miller in chase of Ward Burton. So Donna says to Bobby last night, go out in the garage, get me my garage door opener. He walks out there, never saw the lawnmower, came back in. It's about 10 o'clock at night. They got 2 acres to mow. He had a little push mower and wasn't getting the job done. So she sent him back out the garage again. He sees the rider mower, and he says, move my truck. And he went out and run about 20 laps around the lawn, put the headlights on that thing, and got going with it. So happy birthday, Bobby Labonte.
Testing the equipment out early.
Yep.
The 8 car seems to be making big strides now.
Yeah, I think now we're going to find out what Ward Burton has. As his brother begins to run him down. There's their dad in the pits of the number 8 car. Well, actually, he's in the pits of the number 2 car. You see Hardy's on the pit cart, but he's wearing a number 8 cap. I guess that keeps it straight in the family.
Mixed emotions. They're trying to figure out how to handle this.
1 son up front, 1 in second place. Plus, that battle continues. It's now for 5th spot. Joe Nemechek and Tom Peck. Dentine Chevy and SK Tools car. And look, that Butch Miller right in front of him. Chuck Bound has gone by Butch for 3rd place. So that puts Butch Miller and Charlie Henderson's Food Country car in 4th. Nemechek in 5th and Peck in 6th. Here goes Joe to the outside.
Looks like something has happened to the 75 car. He's pulled the inside. He was running 2nd a while ago. Now he's back in. This will put him back to 5th place, to 6th right now. So he's dropping back.
And you saw he didn't try to hold those guys up. You know, it's just kind of a courtesy. Okay, I'm going to move over. I'm still running hard. You're quicker than me. Go on by. That's the kind of favor you hope to get returned one day.
Yes, if you dish it out, well, we got a car sideways off 4, but he got it straightened out. 25 car, Hermie Sadler. We just went in car with him. I promise you, just about 5 seconds ago, he was working on that steering wheel. He got her sideways.
Tucks in behind Tommy Houston. And he's okay. Had a couple cars up there in turn 4, either just get in the wrong spot of the racetrack or something and get away.
A little bit out of line, and you're out there in that slick stuff. It's hard to go.
123 laps complete. As we watch now the 4th place car of Joe Nemechek try to hold off Tom Peck. Joe has a Mother's Day wish for us.
The new Honda V4 Magna. Nothing's meaner.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Great ball of fire! You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, what a thrill. Doesn't this raise a great ball of fire?
Bosch Platinum, the ultimate spark plug.
In New Britain, Connecticut, people don't need a Wall Street genius to tell them where to put their money. After all, New Britain's the home of Stanley. And even a modest investment in Stanley tools, painting equipment, doors and hardware can pay handsome dividends down the road. So before you sink a nickel in municipal bonds or soybean futures, how about a new Stanley garage door?
Splitfire earned a United States patent. Splitfire doesn't look like any other spark plug. And the patented Splitfire doesn't work like any other spark plug.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Quicker in the quarter mile. A 4.8% gain in mileage.
There's nothing like a Splitfire. You'll get more power and more mileage, or your money back. Get the guaranteed Splitfire advantage at leading automotive stores from coast to coast.
TNN's exclusive coverage of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 is brought to you by Splitfire, the patented performance spark plug. It only costs more till you use it.
You're in Joe Nemechek's pit. Nemechek had been black flagged by NASCAR for smoking. The smoke appeared to dissipate before he finally came in on that 4th lap of black flagging, and they took occasion to put some fuel in it while they checked it out. Glenn, what's the story?
Well, I'm standing here with Vic Kangas, the crew chief. They're awfully upset. Vic, what's the problem?
Well, we had a brake starting to heat up, and NASCAR wanted us to come in. I tried to tell them there was only the brakes getting hot. Sometimes it was hot and it would start smoking, and other times it wouldn't. But the Dentine Chevrolet will come back. I'm sure we'll run good.
Did they pull his scorecard? Did they pull his scorecard?
I couldn't hear you.
Well, what I asked was, and he probably doesn't know, the flag we saw, the black flag with the white cross, means they pulled his card, but only for that one lap. So we're gonna follow up on this, see if NASCAR makes any restitution, because there was nothing wrong with the cars.
Yeah, the smoke looked as if it could have been brake smoke. Could also have been something dropping off the car, some kind of fluid getting on the headers or getting on the racetrack.
Now things are heating up right here. This is the battle for the lead. The 2-car Ward Burton getting a lot of heat. The 8-car's really working on that, raining down from a long way back.
Yeah, Burton has caught him. Burton's caught Burton.
Burton has caught Burton, and Mr. Burton is excited in the pits.
Boy, I would be. I believe the rule, Neil, is you get 3 laps to obey the black flag, and then after the 3rd lap, if you still have not pulled in, they will pull your scorecard and stop scoring you.
Yeah, and they, just like Glenn said, they did wave the black flag with the white crosses. That means, hey, your scorecard's out, or you can run all you want to. We're not counting the laps.
Right.
The question is, did they put the scorecard back in position over here?
Well, we've lost at least 1 lap with the pit stop. They did fuel the car. There's a look at the Burton brothers, South Boston, Virginia. Couple of slow-talking, fast-driving kids that have really made their mark in this sport in a short time.
There's some pretty heavy traffic right now.
Past Joe Bessie. And there's David Green trying to hold off Todd Bodine. The Bodines have had some great runs here. Jeff has won I think he's the 2nd winning driver in this track's history, behind Ray Hendrick. And Brett Bodine holds the track qualifying record for this race. Leaders getting in traffic, going under Mike Wallace. That's Tim Fedowa in 55 underneath Jack Sprague. Now they're battling for position as the leaders come up. Fedowa trying to get a free pass underneath Sprague here. That puts Mike Wallace in number 9 back in the picture. And which way do the leaders go?
I tell you, they're just going to follow right now. We got 2 guys battling for position.
No, we got 3. Chuck Bound is right there.
Yep.
You're riding with the 3rd place car of Chuck Bound as he gets underneath Mike Wallace.
And here you are, you get real antsy. You want to go on, you done ran the leaders down, but you got 2 guys that are a lap down battling for position, and they're not going to pull over and play dead. They're going to make them work to get around them.
The starter is holding the black flag in the air.
Yeah, when they wave it, it means it's a courtesy deal. Move over. But when they point it, you better move over. The 87 cars back down pit road, so they were having a problem with it.
We'll check with Glenn there in a minute as we watch this battle of the leaders trying to lap pass. Now Jack Sprague has pulled down in front of Tim Fedua, and the leaders are going to get by on the outside. Ward Burton in the Hardee's car number 2, Jeff Burton the Baby Ruth number 8, and now Chuck Bound in the Nescafe car, the Pontiac. You're riding with him in 3rd place. That's the ProCal Ford of Fedua and the Staff America Chevy of Sprague.
Pretty good little traffic jam for them, Mike. They don't have any place to go. You get on the outside, you got to really work just an inch at a time to get by.
Let's check with Glenn in the Joe Nemechek pit.
Well, Mike, I don't know a whole lot more right now, except they've got the car jacked up on the left side. They're working up under around the transmission, so there might have been transmission fluid we were seeing. They were sure it was brake smoke, but it continued. The last time in, they did absolutely nothing to the car. They raised the hood, showed it to the NASCAR official, shut the hood, and sent him on his way. But now they do have a problem because that car continued to smoke. We'll try to find out what it is and let you know.
It's possible, Glenn, that some of the drivers that were behind had radioed in that he might have been leaking something. Battle for the lead, and here they are side by side. The Burton brothers bring this crowd to its feet.
Here's these two brothers battling side by side.
Well, this is brother against brother, Ford against GM, and Goodyear versus Hoosier. And here's the best seat in the house, Chuck Bound's car.
And Chuck said, would y'all get through with what you're doing, because I got plans of my own.
All right.
Now we see him drive up under Ward. He's up under Ward, but he's got a lap car coming up on him.
So now it's Goodyear, Hoosier, Goodyear. And it's Ford, Buick, Pontiac in the front 3 spots. And here comes Tom Peck. Going to make it a 4-car race.
Peck's really ran good today. Right there, they ran the leaders down now. There we go. We see 63 car getting right down the inside. Burton's falling back now.
They still got good run down the straightaway, but Ward's up in that high groove now, and Chuck's got the bottom. See, Ward gets a good launch off the corner, but Chuck may be able to take him going into the turn. Ward's going to close that lane off.
There he goes. He's got it up, nose up under him, coming up off the corner there. Now he's got the inside line going down in turn 1. He ought to be able to sail in on the inside, keep Burton out there. Now y'all better get the jump up off on that concrete. Here he goes. We see him get a good run. Burton's not rolling over playing dead. He's making him work for that pass.
Right. It's got to be frustrating when it takes you 4 laps to get past somebody like that.
Yeah, you know, you run. Ooh, man, he cleared him. He just barely cleared him before he pulled over.
I think Ward had to jump out of the throttle there, because look at Tom Peck just jumped all over Ward's bumper on that runoff off the corner.
Burton's car definitely is falling way off the pace. See Jeff Burton up in front of this whole pack.
That's Jeff, the left side of your screen. The number 8 Ford. We are 2 laps. Make that a lap as they come around from halfway. In the Busch Grand National half of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 of Martinsville. NASCAR's All-Pro Series runs here later today. Casey Elliott of the Dawsonville, Georgia Elliots is on the pole in the Moshplugs Ford for that race. Butch Miller is doing double duty today. He'll start outside pole. Mike Garvey, Rich Bickle, Bobby Gill, and Tony Walls are the top 6 qualifiers for that race later on this afternoon. Halfway here at Martinsville, Virginia, and Jeff Burton will lead the halfway lap. Let's check with Glenn Jarrett back down at Joe Nemechek's pit.
Well, Mike, final time about Nemechek. I talked to Steve King, the NASCAR official, and he told me that there is oil coming from the car, and you were exactly right. The 19 car of Tom Peck had radioed in and said they were getting oil on the car from Joe's car. So there is an oil leak. All they were able to do last time was to wipe it off a little bit. The team has been notified that he's probably going to have to come back in, but there is definitely an oil leak.
Tough break for the defending series champion. Tommy Houston, unable to get his car in gear down along pit road. He's rolled to a halt in the Rose's Stores Ford. And now finally gets it in gear. He's going to go back out on the racetrack. Thought they might send him behind pit wall. But he's going to roll back out. Jeff Burton continues to lead here. Chuck Bound is now the 2nd place car. And let's go to the race leader, Jeff Burton. for a happy Mother's Day wish.
We're sorry we couldn't see my mom on Mother's Day, but I guess she's at the beach, so she's probably having a good time, probably more fun than we are. But I do love my mother and like to say happy Mother's Day to her.
Why use Valvoline motor oil? It's the #1 choice of Indy 500 chief mechanics, Daytona 500 chief mechanics, NHRA mechanics, and Baja 1000 mechanics. For use in their race cars and in their own cars. Any more questions? People who know use Valvoline.
When the heat takes out the nutrients and fluids your body needs, grapefruit juice replaces them naturally. 100% pure Florida grapefruit juice. Recharge your body.
We've had O'Blaze for 16 years. I mean, this O'Blaze. My husband uses it for all of his hunting and fishing trips. He and the dog absolutely love that car. Someday, when even AC Delco Parts can't keep it going, we'll just park it out back so he and the dog can sit in it and reminisce.
AC Delco Parts. It's like buying time.
Now through July 5th, save up to $11.60 on AC spark plugs and filters.
What is me?
Geez, that's much bigger.
You think that's big? Nothing's bigger than Little Caesar's big cheese. More pepperoni, 24 whopping slices. Big cheese. It's the mother of all pizzas, only $8.88.
Pizza. All aboard for fun as Celebrities Off Stage goes country cruising on the SS Norway. We'll help Tanya Tucker plan a surprise wedding for her parents on their 50th anniversary. We'll hit the beach with Colin Ray on the friendly island of St. Martin. Marty Haggard hits the links on one of the most beautiful golf courses in the world in St. Thomas. Plus, we'll have a ball at a beach party with George Jones.
Celebrities Off Stage, Monday night at 10 Eastern on TNN, the Nashville Network.
The next live Busch Series race here on TNN will be the Lane Coat 200. That's live Sunday, May 23rd. From Nazareth, Pennsylvania, that fast 5-cornered mile. We'll be there that Saturday night, the 22nd, to Winston. Sunday afternoon, the 23rd of May. The Lane Coat 200. Join us then. More live Busch racing on TNN. 3 wide down into the corner. Tom Peck trying to hang with the 63 car of Chuck Bound. Had to go 3 wide to do it. They go past the limping Tracy Leslie, and here comes David Green right up into the picture in 44. Traffic jam. That freight train we saw at the top of the show, I mean, they do run that close.
I'm telling you, you know, I'm watching Tom Peck right here. He's ran a really good race. He's kept himself right in contention, kept the car under him. He's been all over Chuck Bound the last few laps. Look like he might be able to move on up.
Tom Peck is presently in, I believe, the 5th position. Or check that. 3rd position. Yeah, Jeff Burton, Chuck Bound.
We shouldn't say a word, Mike. Just as we said that, it blew going down the front straightaway.
No. And out in the oil goes David Bonnet off the front bumper of Tom Peck. He'll get squared away here, and we will get a caution.
Yeah, Peck blew as he went down into turn 1 down there.
Is that like being on the cover of Sports Illustrated? Is it one of those jinx things if we talk about him, something happens?
The minute we mentioned him, the motor went away right down the front straightaway.
So Peck will coast behind the wall after getting up to 3rd place. Having a great run here today in the SK Tools car. Leader Jeff Burton. Let's show you what happened here.
We'll see Peck. He's coming down there on the inside. The car had already smoked a little bit as he started down in the corner. He's coasting down in there. Ooh.
David.
Welcome to racing, David.
Need a little more plastic coat on that fender, I think.
Yes, sir. I believe he does.
That's too bad. Pit stop time.
Boy, these guys were needing it. A lot of the guys were needing to stop. It's been a long run. They're used to running this race possibly going all the way, but they had to pit, and this is a good time for it now for everyone.
Pit stops underway. We're just past halfway. 165 laps for pit stops. Here's Glenn.
We're in Ward Burton's pit right now, and Freddie Fryer told us right before that caution that, boy, they needed a caution to get some tires. I don't think they had anything to do with it, but it sure came at an opportune time for him. They are changing all 4 tires. Butch Miller's car's in. He is also changing all 4 tires. Bobby Labonte got outside tires. The leader before the caution, Jeff Burton, got all 4 tires, so these guys taking advantage. This is what they need right around midway during the race. Get a chance to change all 4 tires. They should be set for the finish of the race now.
Well, Jeff Burton only got out of the pits in 5th position. Steve Grissom was the first car out. We'll see how they line up in a moment. Right now, we'll bring you the AC Delco mid-race recap. Sponsored by AC Delco Automotive Parts, available for almost any vehicle. They can help your car or truck last and last. AC Delco, like buying time. 3 leaders in this race, only 2 lead changes. Average speed has been slowed by the 6 caution flags to 70.9 miles per hour. 5 as of halfway, and we've just had the 6th one. 10 cars are still on the lead lap, and there are 4 cars officially out of the race. We can add Tom Peck now to that list. Mid-race recap brought to you by AC Delco Automotive Parts. It's like buying time. Well, they took 2 tires on their first pit stop. Now they're back in for 2 more. As pit stops continue under caution in Martinsville, Virginia, the Miller Genuine Draft 500 on TNN continues after these messages.
Miller Genuine Draft.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
Bad start can cost you to race in this business.
The winningest battery of NASCAR isn't a special racing battery.
I have well over 600 NASCAR starts with a Die-Hard battery.
It's exactly the same battery you can buy for your car at Sears.
You have to be crazy to come out here without a Die-Hard.
Sears Die-Hard, the official battery of NASCAR.
I have never had a failure on the starting line yet.
You can count on me. Die-Hard. More power when you need it most.
Chunky is chunkier. Thick is thicker. Ortega's thicker, chunkier salsa. It's mix to the max.
The best defense is not to offend. Thus, introducing the new Right Guard Sports Stick. Now with a time-release formula for longer-lasting protection against hostile odor all day. For protection that endures.
Splitfire earned a United States patent. Splitfire doesn't look like any other spark plug. And the patented Splitfire doesn't work like any other spark plug.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Quicker in the quarter mile. A 4.8% gain in mileage.
There's nothing like a Splitfire. You'll get more power and more mileage, or your money back. Get the guaranteed Splitfire advantage at leading automotive stores from coast to coast.
Getting set to go back at racing here at Martinsville, Virginia. I'm Mike Joy with Neil Bonnet. Glenn Jarrett's on pit road for TNN today. As our coverage of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 continues. Joe Nemechek up on the front on the outside, and after the second rash of pit stops, they can only change 2 tires at a time. It is David Green out in front. He becomes the 4th different leader today. Check that, 3rd different leader, 4th lead change. Nemechek's trying to get one of his laps back on the outside. Bobby Labonte right behind David Green. They're running 1-2. Labonte cars. Chuck Bound is 3rd. Jeff Burton is 4th. 5th now is Todd Bodine. Ward Burton is 6th after pit stop. 7th, Jack Sprague. 8th is Steve Grissom. And 9th, Robert Presley. Butch Miller is 10th. Ricky Craven is 11th. According to our unofficial tally, Jeff Green back in 12th spot.
Nemechek did get a good start on that thing. He's out in front of these leaders right here. 44 car leading the race with a 14 right behind him.
So he gets one of his laps back. So that car had pitted a couple of times for something leaking. Pitted under the green flag. NASCAR issuing the black flag.
A little bit of a reversal. Here we are with the 44 leading now. The owner chasing it, so we turned it around. See what happens.
David Green comes into this race 2nd. to Steve Grissom in the point parade, just 13 points out of the lead. Chuck Bound. Tom Peck had a great run going here, was running in third when something happened. What was it, Glenn?
Well, we've caught up with Tom. Tom, a great day for the SK Tools car. What happened?
We had a motor blow. You know, I was trying to take care of the car and make sure I had a car with 100 laps to go. But I'd like to thank SK for their support. We had a good race car. We'll get a win one of these days.
You've been running awfully strong this year, awfully consistent. That first win's got to come soon.
I hope not. I hope it's right around the corner.
Okay. Tom Peck looking for that first win real soon.
So Peck behind the wall, out of the race, and he will drop from 5th in the point standings.
Boy, David Green really got the 44 car working now. There's Chuck Bound right there behind Labonte in the 14.
I wonder where Bob Labonte's loyalty are. Bobby's dad.
All the dads down there in the pits have got two kids racing. Keeps them pretty busy, doesn't it?
That's right. It's like Bobby Allison would say. They'd ask him that question. How do you feel about, you know, your son racing against your car? And he'd say, well, he says, I hope we beat Davey, but only by a couple inches.
That's right. Make it look good anyway.
That's it. 175 laps. And here's Robert Presley and Blitz Miller trying to come up through. Presley got the fastest pit stop on the first go-round, but then he got caught back in the pack trying to get that car up and running on 4th gear after they came in to change the other 2 tires.
Yeah, Mike, and also on the start of these races, you start these things in 2nd or 3rd gear, and he's not able to shift on the start, so it's going to cost him some positions every time they have a restart.
Presley, the Alliance Tractor Trailing Center's car, 59. That's Chevrolet. Steve Grissom is the point leader on the lead lap here. He got caught up in one of the spins down in turn number 1 back at lap 48 and has been trying to get back up through the pack since. So it's David Green, Bobby Labonte, and Chuck Bound, then the Burton brothers 4th and 5th, then Todd Bodine and Grissom.
He's country's hottest superstar.
Just learning to live again.
Plus Diamond Rio on the Grand Ole Opry Live. Tonight at 8:30 Eastern on TNN.
Lennox Lewis of Great Britain is the WBC heavyweight champion. Tony Tucker of the United States is a former heavyweight champion. Lennox Lewis is 6'5" and weighs 220 pounds. Tony Tucker's 6'5" and weighs 235 pounds. Lewis has won 22 fights, 19 by knockout. Tucker has 48 wins, 38 by knockout. Lewis is undefeated. Tucker lost only once in 12 rounds to Mike Tyson. On May 8th, Lewis will fight Tucker for the heavyweight championship. Which man will win? Why, it's as simple as red, white, and blue. Lewis versus Tucker, heavyweight championship, Saturday, May 8th, live on pay-per-view. Call your cable company.
Set your VCRs for 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, a very special edition of Winners. Neil Bonham hosts that show. Tell us about it.
Mike, it's on Alan Kowicki. We had just finished Alan's show when the tragic accident happened, and they debated whether to air the show or not, and it showed a side of Alan that I think people would really like to see, so they decided to go ahead and run the show, and hopefully it'll bring back some great memories about Alan. What a great champion he was.
It's a great tribute, and you'll see it tomorrow morning at 10 here on TNN. It's Winners. Coming up on 200 laps, 184 in the book. There are 10 cars on the lead lap. David Green, left side of your screen, is the leader. There's Ricky Craven, the 99 car. He is one of those cars on the lead lap as he is chasing down Steve Grissom. That's battle for position right there. Green is the leader. Bobby Labonte is second. Chuck Bound is third. Jeff Burton is now 5th. Ward Burton has moved up to 4th. Jeff Burton is 5th. 6th is Todd Bodine. Robert Presley has now moved up to 7th. He's flying. Butch Miller is 8th. Steve Grissom is 9th. And Ricky Craven is 10th. That's the lead lap, 9th and 10th place you're watching there.
Presley, you were talking about the 59 cars really coming up through there. Once he got over the pit stop and the restart situation, his car is running good. But here we see Presley. His car is really quick. It always is at these Busch races. That transmission trouble just caused him problems all day long.
Moving under Mike Wallace. Presley is in 7th. That's Ed Barrier just ahead of him, who's also a couple laps down. Presley could be the fastest car on the racetrack right now.
I tell you, somebody's been making gains is Ward Burton. He was well back in that pack, and he's passed some of the lead cars. He's working his way back to the front also. See Presley's car, his is always good at this track. All the Busch races, they're a contender to win.
You're back up front with the 3 leaders now as they lap past Richard Lassiter in the High Point betting car. 44, David Green. 14, Bobby Labonte. If you joined us late, that is Terry Labonte's car, the MW Windows Chevrolet. Terry had hoped to drive it here at Martinsville, but has sore ribs from his Talladega crash, so Bobby stepped in.
Mike, I thought we updated everybody about Rusty Wallace. I'll tell you, Terry Labonte took a wicked lick down there at Talladega. The car went out, turned right, went just as straight in the wall as you could drive it. And I'm telling you, he said it really hurt him bad, and it's going to take him a while to get over the thing. He just didn't need to be in the car today.
But Bobby's had a great run here, and he's struggled a little bit this year in Winston Cup racing. He and Bill Davis are both learning as a team and as a driver, adjusting to the heavier cars and to the Winston Cup competition. And he was pretty tickled to come back here and have a chance to really run up front. He's the 2nd place car right now. Let's find out how older brother's doing on the disabled list. Here's Glenn.
Well, standing by with Terry Labonte. And first of all, Terry, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm still a little sore, but hopefully I'll be okay by next week.
What about the job little brother's doing so far?
Hey, I'll tell you what, he's doing a great job. Our MW Windows Chevy's running good. I couldn't be happier. You know, he got off to a rough start there. I told him, I said, don't worry about it, man. Score up now. Let's go get him.
All right, what about, we've been talking about this dilemma that he's in, putting pressure on his own car up there. Has he said anything about that?
No, he hadn't. You know, he's just running a comfortable pace right now, and, you know, the Goodyear tires last a long time, so he's just waiting to save what he's got for the end.
You know, I think that if he's got what it takes at the end to pass that 44 car, he'll do it.
I think you're right, Glenn. Trouble down the front straightaway. Ed Barrier, gets into Robert Presley. The 2 cars had banged together up in turn 4. It looks like Presley locked the brakes up going into 1. And then he and Barrier really got together.
Mike, you could see it coming. They've been beating on each other all the way down through 3 and 4. They got together all the way down the front straightaway. And now it might be that transmission problem. He might not be able to get it back in gear. Well, see Presley sitting on the track. He's got it rolling. I believe he's just coasting. They just stopped it right there.
Let's see how far back we have this. We don't see the initial bump back at turn 4, but there's a couple of them down the straightaway.
Now he's got the brakes locked up. Then he got back off of them to go in. He tried to cut down and Barrier. You know, they both tried to get on the same part of the racetrack, and you're just not going to do that. That concrete is so tacky and so good. You're in there real hard, but the minute you break it loose, it's gone. They turn them right around.
Presley had been trying to lap past Barrier for about the last 10 laps. Well, NASCAR has put the consultation flag out for both the 22 and the 59 cars.
Mike, just like we were talking about, it was easy to see it coming. They got the part we showed, missed what happened just a little bit early, up 3 and 4. They were running all over each other. Let's see if we pick it up where it started at. We'll see if we got it going in turn 3 a little bit earlier. Here we go. 22 car on the inside. There's Presley trying to lap him. Watch this. They go in the corner here. They get together right there. Twice. Okay, now they hit again. The 22 gets back into him.
4 times.
The 59. Now watch him come off the corner. They're real wide. Presley's going to go over and kind of remind him how you ran all over the side of my car. Little body slap right there, side by side. But now they got them hung together going down in the corner. Presley's trying to get on the brakes and get stopped. They're going to put them both on the trailer, they say. They're going to take them out of the race, not black flag them and talk to them. They said they're going to park them. We'll just have to see what happens.
Presley's car getting jacked up on the left side. And I would imagine try to get it back into gear. Well, we'll follow up on this story when we come back. 104 laps to go in the Miller 500. Beautiful day for racing here at Martinsville. Glad to have you with us. We'll be right back.
People are selling tools today on the market that I don't even think they know where they're made, and they're not a quality tool. One thing about the Craftsman tool, it's made here, and you know the quality's good.
1,600 Craftsman hand tools, made in America, guaranteed forever.
If something happens to it, you can take it back, and you know where to take it back because you know where it come from.
Only at Sears.
Introducing the Polaroid One Step with a sharp new look.
If you want to pick up the fun, pick up the newly styled Polaroid One Step camera and plenty of film, because when the film runs out, so does the fun.
TNN's exclusive coverage of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 is brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts.
They wave the green, and there's trouble instantly. Chuck Bound and Ward Burton. Chuck got into the side of Joe Nemechek as Joe tried to come down to the bottom lane going into turn one. You see the damage to the left rear of his car as Chuck chases him down in the backstretch. Chuck running third, Ward Burton right behind him in fourth, and Jeff Burton fifth.
Boy, every one of these restarts, we see these drivers get real aggressive.
Probably the best place to pass is on the restart. If you got a chance at him there, saves you a whole lot of work a little later on. Ed Barrier's car has been parked for the day, and now Ricky Pearson and team are pushing Robert Presley's car behind the wall. And the indication we have is both cars have been removed from the race for that altercation. Barrier was a lapped car. Presley was on the lead lap trying to overtake a lapped car. But NASCAR saw them equally at fault, and this will really be a blow to Presley, who was 7th in the point standings coming in here and was running on the lead lap. Look at Chuck Bound and Jeff Burton right with him.
Well, that's a strong call, but you know, when you see something real intentional happening back and forth between two drivers, NASCAR is just not going to put up with it. It's an awful strong call, but they're going with it.
Robert Presley's climbed out of the car and gone up into the trailer, having waved off reporters. That's a tough break. Chuck Bound chasing Jeff Burton there as we go back up front. David Green. Trouble, around goes Nemechek all by himself entering turn 3 and up to the wall in 4.
You know, he just made up a lap earlier and drove away from the leaders, and I'm sure he had in his mind, hey, I can get another lap back. He just really running hard. Boy, that time he got in the wall real hard.
7th caution of the day comes out of lap 204. Got the left front. Already had gotten the left rear.
All these guys are up there right in the points. We heard at the top of the show, everybody said, this is a place you can get in trouble and really cost you some points. A lot of our guys are in that situation. You called it earlier, Mike. He's going down the corner. You see him get in there real hot. Back end breaks loose on him. Comes going to slap the left front into that concrete. I'll tell you, that did some damage. Really knocks the front of the car around when it hits like that.
Not a good day to be one of the point leaders, it seems. We'll be back to Martinsville right after this.
You about finished? How's it going? Great. We have a lot of good mechanics that shop at AutoZone. Well, you also have a lot of people who just want to save some money by doing a simple job themselves, like changing their oil or putting in new plugs. They just want to come in, get what they need, and get out. Well, at AutoZone, we have parts for just about every car made. So if you know what you want, great. But if you're not quite sure about something, no problem. We'll help. After all, that's what we're here for.
Hey, Mike, hand me my channel lock pliers.
Tommy, hand me that plier over there with the blue handles. What kind of pliers is that? These are channel lock tone and groove pliers. My dad uses them on his race car, too.
For the tough jobs and the small jobs, reach for Channel Lock, the handiest plier of them all.
Hey, guys, anybody seen the channel lock pliers?
Channel Lock. Be sure you're getting genuine Channel Lock pliers. Look for this trademark.
What is big?
Geez, that's much bigger.
You think that's big? Nothing's bigger than Little Caesar's big cheese. More pepperoni, 24 whopping slices. Big cheese. It's the mother of all pizzas, only $8.88.
Pizza.
Man, we're out here to test. Nothing but rain. Hey, where's Mario?
Two champions sharing a winning formula. Haviland Formula 3.
I hear your power is looking good for you this year. It's unbelievable. Must run pretty hot in a tight draft, though. Got that pretty well beat.
Complete professionals who rely on the same complete protection you can buy right off the shelf.
Yeah, I'm wide open all the time. The only way to do it.
Haviland Formula 3 motor oil from Texaco.
Quit raining, please.
What drives Kyle Petty?
I don't know. I've been asked that a million times. Just the competitiveness. One-on-one with a guy, it doesn't make any difference. I want to beat him, and he wants to beat me. Racing's my hobby. Yeah, very compulsive. It's an addiction. To do this and do good at it, you have to concentrate on racing almost 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And, you know, once you get into it and you love it as much as you do, that's all there is, racing.
Kyle Petty and TNN Motorsports. When it comes to live NASCAR racing, no one plays as hard.
Power plays on TNN Motorsports.
They have just waved the green flag as the field sorts out here at Martinsville. Chasing David Green and Jeff Burton, or rather David Green and Bobby Labonte. That's Rodney Combs smoking a bit. A little tire smoke going off into the corner.
Either tire smoke or brakes, because he ran into behind him real hard. Looked like he on the brakes and smoke came out. The one car is a lap down, Rodney Combs. He sees an opportunity to possibly get it back.
Making a run at it here. Actually, Rodney is 2 laps down. He's got a couple sponsors, folks out of York, Pennsylvania, helping him out when they go to Nazareth. He'll be up there in a couple of weeks. Here's your Napa Field standing update, brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. David Green, Bobby Labonte.
There we go. We see Ward Burton. Now that's a battle for second place inside of Labonte. The 2 car and the 14 are battling for second. Burton has that inside line. You know, he led a lot of the early portion of this race, trying to work his way back to the front.
And now as Hoosiers have cooled off a bit from a couple of quick cautions, he's able to take the second spot away from Labonte.
Boy, he went on the inside of the 14, right around the outside of the 1, tried him outside, but he opened the door for the 14 to get under him.
But now he can use that lapped car. See, with Rodney Combs in the low groove, that kind of seals up anywhere for Bobby Labonte to go, and Ward Burton has the second spot.
Burton clears him, gets on down in there now. We've got the 44 car, David Green, out probably 20 car lengths in front of him. See if he can run him down.
And there's your race leader, Slim Jim Chevrolet, David Green. Trying to give his car owner a birthday present.
There we go. We see the Ward Burton's car just come into the shot right there. It's about a half of a corner distance between them.
And also battling on the lead lap, there's Ricky Craven and Butch Miller. Pole sitter. That battle back at 6th place. 5th if you count Todd Bodine just in front of him in the 34 car, the Fiddle Faddle machine. Bodine is 5th.
See Miller, he's wanting to try to get up under the 99. He's been able to get up there a little bit, but let's see, the 99 had to move outside. He was anticipating that lap traffic, but wasn't able to get the foot in the door there. Craven really used his head to start to, on these short tracks, you've got to do that. You've got to see that guy out there 50 foot in front of you and figure what's going to happen before you get to him. On these big super speedways, you plan on 3/4 of a mile ahead. These short tracks, you just take it a step at a time.
Trouble on the lead car of David Green.
Sounded like the motor went out. I heard it real bad missing it when he went under us here, Mike.
And Ward Burton retakes the lead. Here's Bobby Labonte taking some money out of his pocket as he goes by the car that he owns. David Green drops a little bit off the pace, drops back to 3rd.
I bet you when Bobby Labonte went by and heard that thing missing, he was counting how much the valves and all cost in that thing.
Maybe. Gonna smoke out of Nathan Butke's car once again. He'll get black flagged this time around, as Richard Lassiter did moments ago. Well, that changes the complexion of things. Bobby Labonte trying to go 2 for 2 here at Martinsville. Different car, different weather, that's for sure.
But like Terry said, you know, there's Labonte running good. You start the race, that was a brand new race car, and he really tore the sheet metal up on it. Terry called, hey, it's beat up now, go ahead. So you don't have any more caution, you just race.
All right.
I'm not saying Terry's not going to send him a bill for the body work, but...
Well, now if David Green can hold on to 3rd, Bobby can afford to pay it.
Yeah. I don't really understand Green. I saw the motor's bad. I just heard the 44 go under, but he's still running good pace.
Yeah, there's Steve Grissom getting up there, and you're watching from Hermie Sadler. And Steve Grissom and Rodney Combs on the inside.
Boy, that can give you a good idea how close they are on this racetrack. You got to deal with squishing the car right up against the wall off the corner, but you got to worry about that guy inside making a slip.
Yeah. Hermie's not afraid to put the car in there either. He's a talented rookie. He's not being intimidated at all.
Now, he's got some pretty good shots for us all day long. Every time we look at the camera, he's gouging somebody in the rear trying to race with him.
Getting close. Yep.
We see Grissom in front of him. Grissom really was off in qualifying. Got a car spun up here in turn 4.
Nathan Butke.
Here comes the leader up.
Ward Burton. And we're under caution again, lap 222. Chuck Bound was up amongst the leaders, but he had made a pit stop on the last caution flag. He had a fender rubbing a tire. Had to go all the way to the back. But he's now climbed up right behind Grissom. He'll put him 9th.
Lost a lot of track position, Mike. His car has been good all day long and really moved him back in the pack, but he's worked his way back up there.
This copyrighted telecast of Miller Genuine Draft 500 is authorized under broadcast rights granted by Martinsville Speedway for the private use of our audience. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, Andy. This is Lana from the spa. Call me. Ta-ta.
Hey, Andy, the Beatles are having a reunion, and I've got tickets. Call me.
You'd fall in love with Colonial Williamsburg's quaint inns, the Blue Ridge Mountains' misty peaks, and Virginia Beach's moonlit ocean, too, if you had our free vacation guide. Call this toll-free number for your free copy.
Andy Ellis, you've just won the $100 million sweepstakes. Call in the next 30 seconds to collect your prize.
Each year, the Academy of Country Music honors its most talented artists by throwing a fancy wing-ding where all the stars get them a trophy. At Sound Warehouse, we do it by marking down CDs and tapes of the hottest country artists on the range. Folks like Joe Diffie on Epic, Billy Dean, or Tanya Tucker on Liberty. Well, there's a whole passel of them on sale right now at your nearby Sound Warehouse, so don't just sit there. Saddle up and ride on in to Sound Warehouse, where the stars ain't the only ones reaping the rewards.
Here's your dinner.
This isn't what I ordered. Where'd he go? I knew I should have gone to Shoney's.
How is everything?
Well...
Good.
He did it again! With Shoney's pasta, you now get 3 delicious choices. Marinara, Alfredo, or meat sauce. Of course, other family restaurants offer you 3 choices, too. Tomato sauce, salt, and pepper. Mmm.
Chunky is chunkier. Thick is thicker.
Ortega's thicker, chunkier salsa. It's mix to the max.
Celebrities Offstage goes country cruising in the Caribbean. We'll visit St. Thomas, St. Martin, and Pleasure Island with Tanya Tucker, Colin Ray, Marty Haggart, and George Jones.
Celebrities Offstage, Monday night on TNN.
76 laps to go here in Martinsville, Virginia. TNN's live coverage of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 for NASCAR's Busch Grand National cars. And we may get a restart here in a lap. Yes, we will. Remind you that any free transmission or reuse of the pictures, accounts, and descriptions of this event without the express consent of the National Network is prohibited. They line up double file for the restart. Tracy Leslie has taken his car behind the wall for either the second or third time today after a whole lot more smoke out the tailpipe.
I tell you what, Mike, I've never seen one blow up 3 times. This car did the very same thing earlier, and I said, well, it's a dead duck, you know, and then they get it going again. And this time, I'm not going to say he's out of the race.
Wonder, Neil, on the Busch cars, do they run the overflow into the headers like they do on the modifieds?
No, they don't have that system on there, but what it'll do, sometime the thing will get a piston and give a little bit of problem, and they'll suck oil for a while, and they pour liquid glass in there and seal up heads and stuff. It's hard to tell what they're doing.
Look at the top 5. 2 Burtons, a Labonte, a Bodine, and a Craven.
And a Nemechek, who just tried to get him another lap back.
Looks like he's done it.
Yep.
Jack Sprague trying it as well. He's not going to be so lucky out there in the 74 car. Now Burton goes to work on Nemechek. Looking for the bottom shot, not this time.
No, evidently that, you know, I was talking about how hard he hit in the wall earlier. It didn't seem to hurt Joe's car. He's running real quick right now, just slapping the wall.
Did you ever have one bounce off the wall and run better?
Yeah, and it always made me wonder how talented I was. That I couldn't make it do that before I wrecked it.
Right. I've heard of that happening. You know, you change the toe, you know, you bounce off the wall, and it just happens to adjust that corner just a little bit.
Yeah, I've had them like that. They'd run good, you'd wreck. I mean, they'd run pretty good, you'd wreck them. They'd run real good, you go home and fix them, they run good again.
Well,
but not real good.
No. A lot of jostling back in third place. You saw Jeff Burton just get free of Jack Sprague, and now Todd Bodine in the fiddle faddle car. Ricky Craven has moved up another notch. He's 5th as Burton dispenses with Nemechek. Puts him a lap down again. Riding with Hermie Sadler behind Butch Miller.
What you want to bet it gets close? Every time we get in, he'll get right in there with him now. He's doing a good job.
He's going to try, and he's got Jack Sprague up there in that high groove. Now Sprague will come down and cover the spot. Hermie tried to get just a little bit lower.
Yeah. He just needs some mud snow tires on the left and get that grass down there. Here's the 99 car making a move up under Bodine. He's got the fender on him right here. Oh, so close. Now, not only do you have a fender close to him, he just barely touched him. Just telling him, said, hey, I'm in here. I want some of this real estate.
There was about the width of 1 coat of that DuPont paint between those 2 cars, and that was all. Butch Miller right there.
Yeah, Butch is going to take the opportunity to go by Bodine also while he's got him out there.
This is for 4th place.
Miller's thinking about jumping out of the 99 car while he's got him racing hard.
Had a look at it. That'll move Craven up to 4th, Miller to 5th, and Bodine to 6th.
That's Miller right up there in front of him with the Craven car. Looks like Miller's taking the inside line.
And Hermie Sadler jumps in there.
Hermie afraid they're going to get away from him. They can't get the camera. We're getting a pretty good shot out of there. Butcher's about to get away.
He got past Bodine. 20 cars running from 32 starters. 10 on the lead lap.
Getting overcast again. Track cooler back down.
And the Hoosier shod car of Ward Burton back out front. And there's Butch Miller, left side of your screen. He's moving up as well. He's now the 4th place car. He's gone by Ricky Craven.
There we see Ward Burton got around Joe Nemechek earlier, but Joe's not letting him get away from him. You know, Joe's several laps down, but each lap is critical to him in the points for the season.
Yeah, Nemechek 2 laps down at this juncture unofficially. We do not have the computerized scoring rundowns from NASCAR, so we're getting them 10 laps at a time here.
We saw Grissom really running there behind. Bound got right up on him. Now he's got the nose inside, but got lap traffic up in front of him.
And Butch Miller is slowed right in front of him.
Yep.
Oh, gee.
Must be a motor problem because it just quit. It's not running off the corner very well.
Miller, who had a good chance to win here last October, and a strong shot
going behind the wall
from the front today. You know, a pole sitter has not won on the Busch Series this year. 7 races.
Here's Grissom and Bound still going at it. We just saw a while ago, we saw 31 behind Chuck Bound. He was able to get around him. Jack Sprague there. Jack moves to the inside, gives the other car. Oh, Jack moves inside. Grissom tries him back inside. A little beating and banging right above that corner.
Not a lot of running room there. Hardly any. You're about to feel a bump here, I think.
Yeah. Hang on. I reached up tight my belts a little bit.
And yeah. Chuck Bound all over Steve Grissom.
Once they got around that lap car, give Grissom a little bit more running room. He stretched out, but Bound drives the car deep in the corner and gains on him. Mike, you go to a lot of places to race, and the car dictates how fast you go. Driver has a lot of input here. You know, if you want to make up ground, you just drive in there a little bit further. The driver's got a lot of control on how the car runs at this racetrack.
Steve Grissom trying to run it to the front. He's the Busch Series point leader. We asked him about his goals for the 1993 season. Here's what he told us.
You know, we didn't really set out to necessarily win the championship, although the points are very important. But our main thing is we just wanted to be consistent and do the same thing every week and, you know, finish races and then, you know, try to run as best we can, win as many races as possible, and then the points will fall where they may.
Go past the point of rescue.
I am pretty introspective. Yeah, I think too much.
Catch Hal Ketchum on the path to stardom on TNN tonight. As the fresh colors of spring turn into the vibrant shades of summer, Opryland Hotel offers its best package of the season, the Spring into Summer package. Spend 3 fun-filled days and 2 fabulous nights at the incomparable Opryland Hotel, now bursting with fragrant flowers and blooming plants. Enjoy a morning or midday cruise on the mighty General Jackson showboat as it paddles down the historic Cumberland River. You'll get a 1-day admission ticket to Opryland Theme Park, America's favorite for music, rides, and shows. Even sit down to a morning breakfast buffet in one of the hotel's many restaurants. All this is just $159 per person plus tax based on double occupancy and is available for a very short time. May 23rd through June 15th, 1993. Call 615-872-0600 to reserve your dates for this special package. Spring into summer at Opryland Hotel, where memories are made of this.
We're back live in Martinsville, and you notice on that leaderboard in 5th place, Hermie Sadler. NASCAR is now showing on the lead lap. The rookies had quite a day here today. There's the rest of your top 10. Now, Michael Rich is the first car 1 lap down, being posted in 10th place. There's Sadler on the right side of your screen. We had him a lap down, and apparently, Neil, on one of those cautions, either coming back to the flag or because of the pit stop sequencing, he did unlap himself. He is 4th in Busch Series points, and he's running in 5th place here.
I tell you, he's ran real aggressive all day long, and it pays off in a long race like this. You know, we've kind of lost him in the shuffle. I thought he was a lap down also, but he's been running hard all day, and he's right in the middle of this thing.
Well, there's 3rd and 4th just ahead of him, Ricky Craven and Jeff Burton. Sadler is 5th. And we asked him, what will it take for you to feel that you're being successful on this Busch Series?
You got to be on your toes every week, and you can't get lazy. You know, I think some of these guys I've hung around before, you seem to have a little bit of success, and then you tend to kind of go through the motions and think it's going to continue to come your way. But you really got to work hard each and every week and be prepared as well as you can be. And if you do that, I think you'll be successful in the Busch Series.
Well, he's successful right now. He's up alongside Jeff Burton. This is for 4th place.
He's ran hard all day, Mike. We're kind of jokingly about how aggressive he gets that thing down in there in the corner and just really puts the heat on these guys. He's doing it the tough way right around the outside. Looks like he's going to make it work.
Got the Alabama gang. We're going to have the Virginia militia here.
Yeah, they're ganging up.
Yep. Got those young Burton guys, and now you got this young fellow. He's putting it to Jeff Burton. And that's been one of the fastest cars here all day.
he's got him cleared now, he'd get back on the inside.
Steve Grissom coming up to be part of this battle as well. Let's go back down to the garage area. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, the guy that had some short-term success today is Butch Miller, the pole sitter. Butch had an awfully fast car out there. Looked like he had a good top 5 finish. What happened?
Well, you know, we took it easy on the brakes. We took it easy on the motor. Kind of bided our time the whole first part of the race. It was time to go. Stepped on the gas and the motor blew.
All right, let me ask you a question now. The Hoosier tires look like they were holding up pretty well. Ward Burton leading the race right now on the Hoosier tires. Do you think they'll hold up under it?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I think we were the only car that had anything for Ward. Food Country Olds was running great.
Better luck next week.
Thank you.
Butch Miller becomes the 7th pole sitter to be unable to capitalize and go to victory lane this season.
Good indication being fast ain't necessarily the name of the game. You got to finish these Busch races, and it takes a lot of things going in your direction to be able to have a car good enough to win at the end of the race.
Well, he's only the 2nd pole sitter not to finish. Ernie Irvin crashed at Hickory after sitting on the pole, but it just has not been easy to win on this circuit. It is Ward Burton up front with 47 laps to go. Bobby Labonte in 2nd, and there is quite a separation now between the 1st and 2nd place cars as they come off turn number 4. We'll show it to you in a minute. It's about 3 seconds from Burton back to Labonte. Now, from Bobby Labonte back to Ricky Craven, the 3rd place car is 3 seconds. And Craven is getting reeled in by Hermie Sadler. There's 1st to 2nd. There's the difference. Here's Ward Burton coming off turn number 4. And there's Bobby Labonte, the white car, in 2nd. 3rd place is a cat fight right now. In the traffic, Sadler has caught Ricky Craven going off toward turn number 1. They lap Roy Payne. They got separated just a little bit there by Carlington lap traffic, and Steve Grissom is going to be right with those cars in another 2 laps.
That lap traffic, like you said, Sadler kind of reeled in Craven. I thought he was going to be able to make a move on the next lap or 2, but looks like that traffic separated just a little bit. But look, Grissom coming. This thing's beat all to pieces, but it's flying.
Well, Sadler's been finishing races. He's 4th in the points, but with only 2 top 10 finishes. Nobody's been real consistent, with the exception of Steve Grissom, who has 4 top 5s in 7 races. The points a shakeup, and there they go. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And Sadler coming back in. He's being a little tentative in traffic there, trying to keep a race car under him.
You still got, 40-something laps to go. And, I mean, if you abuse it too much just in 10 or 15 laps, you can blow that thing up or wear the brakes out. We just heard Butch Miller say that he's biding his time, but the minute he wanted to go when he matched it, he blew it up. But there was Bodine coming in the pits, turned in off turn 4 real quick.
Todd Bodine on the front stretch, and Roy Payne, the rookie from Texas, in the pits on the back stretch. Looking underneath Todd Bodine's car, Bodine and Joe Nemechek were 2 of the 5 cars NASCAR required to change their braking system this week. Those 5 had the brake fluid recirculating system on that many, or now all the Winston Cup drivers use. So they had to make changes this morning when NASCAR Busch Series officials decided those recirculators would not be allowed in this series. What those deals allow is you'd be pumping fresh brake fluid into the caliper each time, and then the fluid returns back to the master cylinder. Normally you'd only have 1 brake line to the caliper. You push the fluid in and it gets hot, and then it rides back up, and then you push the same fluid back in and it keeps gathering heat. The recirculating system prevented that and helped prevent some of the brake fade problems, not the fade from the pads and the rotors, but from the fluid boiling.
Mike, I think that the Busch Series will eventually look. The Winston Cup went to it. I think it's a safety feature. There's nothing any worse than being running one of these race cars without brakes. I've done it. All the drivers had to do it at a certain time, but I think that's a safety feature. They'll have to look at letting it go in the cars later, if the cost is not just astronomical.
And it doesn't seem to be, Neil. The cost of that's come down pretty reasonable now that a lot of the Cup teams have it. You're watching leader Ward Burton. That 3rd place battle is still a good one. There's Hermie Sadler just ahead of Steve Grissom. They are chasing Ricky Craven for 3rd. Let's go down to the Sadler pit. Here's Glenn.
Well, this is Sadler's crew chief, Bobby King. And Bobby, I tell you, he sure isn't running like any rookie I know.
He's doing a real good job right now. He got down a lap to start with, but he came back, and I hope he got time to get to the front.
You saying anything on the radio? The car seems to be working awfully well.
working real good. It's just a little bit tight.
Well, it certainly doesn't seem tight. He's reeling in Ricky Clayton right now. I think this boy's going to finish third.
And a flat left rear tire, it looks like, on Steve Grissom's car.
Boy, I tell you, there goes. He's turning around. He got it in there completely flat. Oh, me.
Michael Rich.
A couple of cars got into him.
Michael Rich slaps the wall, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Steve was trying to get the car around to the pits, but that left rear just went right down on the rim.
Like that happened coming up the front straightaway. You and I saw it while we were down in the pits. The left front went, excuse me, the left rear went flat. He almost lost it coming down the front straightaway. Then it did turn around. I'm going in 3.
Let's show it to you again here.
Here he is. He already knows he's got a problem. He's riding over the inside. His big concern now is just to get it back to the pits. But, you know, the thing right now is setting completely on the rim.
Yeah, look at the carcass on the left rear. He's not steering it that way. He's just kind of reacting to it.
Yeah, he's chasing that thing. He goes down the corner. The tire's coming completely off the rim. Now, watch him. He gets on this concrete here, and it looks like he's not running 20 miles an hour. But then when he starts to turn the front wheels, back end just comes out from under it. See the rubber? You can see the rubber all the way off the rim just about as he went down in the corner. And then he backs out. The 02 just clips him enough to turn them out in the outside wall.
Well, he clipped the 02. The 02 got a little loose. Joe Bessie got in the back of 02, and Michael Rich got up in the wall. The wrecker is going to his aid. Chuck Bowen will make another pit stop under this caution. They'll crank a little bite into the right rear of his car, and he'll go to the tail end of the line once again.
This is where it happened. The breakthrough in urethane chemistry that created Finish 2001. The car polish so advanced, you use it only once a year. This old car's finish appears destroyed. With no rubbing, no buffing, Finish 2001 safely brings back a shine that lasts an entire year. Nothing but nothing shines or protects better than 100% guaranteed Finish 2001. Finish 2001 is available at these fine stores.
Why use Valvoline motor oil? It's the #1 choice of Indy 500 chief mechanics, Daytona 500 chief mechanics, NHRA mechanics, and Baja 1000 mechanics. For use in their race cars and in their own cars. Any more questions? People who know use Valvoline.
Hey, I like to save money as much as the next guy. But what are the odds that there's going to be a sale on the parts you need when your car breaks down? Hey, it's not going to happen. That's why I go to AutoZone. I mean, sure, you could wait around for a couple weeks and maybe beat their price by a few pennies someplace else. But I don't want to wait for a sale when I need a part. Now, what more could you ask for?
She's an 83 with over 140,000 on-road and off-road miles. Must be in and out of it 150 times a day. It's a wonder the doors don't fall off. Only trouble was when the pig charged caved in my door. I only used AC Delco. Cheaper parts can cost you a powerful lot. Of course, so can pigs.
AC Delco parts. It's like buying time.
Now through July 5th, save up to $11.60 on AC spark plugs and filters.
TNN's exclusive coverage of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 is brought to you by AC Delco. It's like buying time.
See at the top of your screen, they're still hooking up Michael Rich's car to the wrecker. He had just barely been clipped by a spinning Steve Grissom, and then Joe Bessie got into the back of him, and it sent the car around, and it took a hard lick on the driver's side.
Mike, I think they had a little bit of problem. They're hooked on ready to pull the car off, but they raised the rear up. I'm not so sure they don't have fuel leaking out of the car, and they're not going to move the car until they get that corrected. I said they were working in the rear back there. You see them with the trunk lid up on the car now. They must be concerned about some damage or leakage of fuel back there before they move it.
Well, nice thing about racing on TNN, you not only know where, but you know when to find it. 11 a.m. every Sunday. Inside Winston Cup Racing takes a look inside and underneath your favorite sport. 11 a.m. Sundays on the Nashville Network. 31 laps to go here at Martinsville, Virginia. Now, Jeff Burton had just made another pit stop under that caution period. And he gives up some valuable track position. Let's go down to Jeff's pit. Here's Glenn.
Well, this is the man can tell us what's going on, Gil Martin, the crew chief. Gil, late race pit stop there. It looked like a pretty major chassis adjustment. What's going on?
Well, we're having to compensate for something on the Baby Ruth TIC Thunderbird for the steering box is going bad. So the steering's binding up on him in the corner, and he really can't tell where the car's going. So we're trying to tighten him up so when he turns the steering wheel, the car will try to stay tight. We're losing the steering box.
Okay, that's something that's awfully hard to compensate for, particularly taking in wedge or putting wedge in the car. I guess taking wedge out of the car, trying to loosen it up a little bit. We'll keep an eye on him. That's a tough break. That car has run awfully well today.
Sure has. Ward Burton is the leader. He has led 194 laps of this race now. The driver leading the most laps has won 6 of the 7 Busch races thus far. Burton has led the most laps today. That's this guy, Jeff Burton's brother Ward. Bobby Labonte is second. Ricky Craven is third. Hermie Sadler is up to 4th. Remember, he was being chased by Steve Grissom, but it was Grissom who brought out this caution flag. So it's a long way back in line to find the 5th place car, and that would be David Green in 5th place as they take Michael Rich off hammock style between the 2 records.
Yeah, they went and got another record. They were, I don't know if the thing was locked up in the gears or rear end hung up or whatever, but they raised the trunk and just hooked on back there and got the thing out of it. I don't know what the problem is with it.
There's your race leader. Here on TNN, going to be one hot summer night, Saturday, May 22nd, 2 weeks, when we bring you the running of NASCAR's All-Star Night from the showplace of the sport, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Under the lights, it's the Winston, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, live on TNN. Getting lined up for the restart. 6th will be Chuck Bound after his pit stop, and Jeff Burton will line up 8th. Steve Grissom, I believe, is still on the lead lap. He would be the 9th place car. That would be 9 cars on the lead lap. We'll double check on Todd Bodine.
On these restarts, prior to this, we've got Nemechek, Joe Nemechek in the outside lane. He was always able to beat Burton and get the lead going down the corner, but Burton's not going to do that this time. He jumped, he took off. The leader has the right to start the race at any time he wants, and he wants to not have to battle with someone else. He wants to get out front and see if he can go.
And he's done that. Grissom is 1 lap down, and Todd Bodine, we're told, after a couple of green flag pit stops, is 2 laps down. So it's Ward Burton trying to hold off Bobby Labonte. And Ricky Craven looking for his first Busch Series win. And Hermie Sadler running in the 4th spot right behind Craven. There's Bobby Labonte. He's got Bobby Dotter behind him. Dotter's made a couple of pit stops smoking and is a couple laps down. Then Craven, the 3rd place car, number 99, the DuPont car. 27 laps to go. Chuck Bound up the outside of David Green. This is 5th place. Bound has had to come from the back now 3 times.
Made the pass. He's got some distance to make up. He's passing positions, but he's got a lot of track distance to get to the leaders now.
.21.77 last lap for Ward Burton, so he's making good time. And that car, we've noted all day, coming off a caution flag, runs real well for some time after those tires are allowed to cool. Steve Grissom now, remember, is a lap down. Jeff Burton trying to move back up through, but Grissom is the point leader. He's trying to get past Roy Payne and Joe Bessie. Jeff Burton is seeing the race run away without him. Back there in traffic. That's what happens when you make that. They had to make the pit stop, no question about that. But that's, look where it puts you. It puts you way back in the traffic, and the leaders run off.
I can't help but think when they say the steering box is going away, they run power steering on these cars. I can't help but believe he's losing the power steering as he goes along. And I'm telling you, it's hard to crank with as severe a turn as you have up off the corner here. He's going to work him to death in there by sitting in that seat trying to drive that thing. We used to run them without power steering, and it wasn't too bad. Yeah. But when that power steering is like a passenger car. When it goes out, it's worse than any standard steer car in the world. So he's got his hands full.
Yeah, you got to overcome not only the steering, but also the pump.
Yeah, the mechanical advantage is gone, and you got big high ratio numbers, and it's hard to turn it.
Yep. But Burton is on the lead lap. Let's move into the 4th place car. Hermie Sadler. He's had a great day here. Trying to close down on Ricky Craven. The white car up there is Bobby Labonte, the second place car. Now there's third and fourth. Craven on the left of your screen and Sadler on the right. Ward Burton the leader. Bobby Labonte, Ricky Craven, Hermie Sadler is fourth. David Green is fifth. He's got had a mirror full of Chuck Bound. Moved Chuck up a spot. Chuck Bound is now fifth. David Green is sixth. And Jeff Burton is seventh. One lap down. Jack Sprague is one lap down. So is Steve Grissom. 2 laps back. Rodney Combs, Tim Fedewa, Joe Nemechek. And on back. There's Ward Burton. Well, it's Mother's Day tomorrow. See what Dad's got to say. Let's go to the pits and Glen.
Well, Mike, if people don't know it's Mother's Day by now, tomorrow, they ain't been paying attention. But for this guy, today has been Father's Day. This is John Burton, Ward's father, and you got to be awfully proud of these 2 guys. You got to be awfully proud of your 2 sons.
Glenn, it looks real good right now. They're both doing a great job.
Is it hard to decide which one to pull for?
It really is. I just have to pull for both.
Well, he's done a good job so far today. He's got one in first and the other one on the lead lap with a little steering problem, but this man is a very proud papa today.
And he's looking pretty neutral. He's got one son's cap on and the other's shirt on. Now that's about as fair as you can get. Ward Burton, the race leader, going for 2 in a row. It's happened 27 times in Busch Series history. A driver has won back-to-back races. Most recent being Mark Martin, 2 Speedway wins this year. And it's 16 laps. We'll see if Ward Burton can join that exclusive list. We'll take this break and be back with the finish. Busch Racing live on TNN.
I love to work on the cars, and I still work on the cars. There's not one part of the race car that I cannot put together myself. I can drive it pretty good, too. A top-notch mechanic reaches back and picks a tool out of his toolbox. He can tell right then if it's got the quality or not.
1,600 Craftsman hand tools, made in America, guaranteed forever.
If any tool was ever made better, it'd have to be made by Craftsman.
Only at Sears.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Inside the rechargeable mulchinator from Ryobi lies a beast.
It looks like Buckley's taking the lead on the first turn.
24 volts of cordless power to cut mulch and fertilize your lawn quietly. Without pit stops for gas, oil, or clippings. The battery-powered mulchinator from Ryobi. It could just be the mower of your dreams.
Introducing the Polaroid One Step with a sharp new look. If you want to pick up the fun, pick up the newly styled Polaroid One Step camera and plenty of film, because when the film runs out, so does the fun.
Chunky is chunkier. Thick is thicker. Ortega's thicker, chunkier salsa. It's mix to the max.
Sunday live on TNN Motorsports. New teams, new colors, and new challenges have set the tone for an exciting ASA season. So, has Mike Eddy adopted another famous Mr. Goodwrench reputation? Jay Sutter might think so. But like they say, that's racing. And this year, you're going to see some of the best ever. Live from Milwaukee, the ASA AC Delco Challenge Series Badgerland 150. Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, only on TNN Motorsports. Ronnie McDowell, along with the Jordanaires, DJ Fontana and Scotty Moore, previews his new concert tour, a tribute to Elvis. Nashville Now, TNN Wednesday.
Closing laps of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 for NASCAR's Busch Series cars. NASCAR's All-Pro cars. Casey Elliott on the pole for that one. That will follow for the fans here at Martinsville. You'll see highlights of that one on race day tomorrow here on TNN. There's your leader, Ward Burton, and it's a ways back to second place.
Yeah, Ward, once he got in the lead, he got a real good start on that last restart, and he didn't have to battle with anyone, and then he's just driven away from them. Just 7 to go.
3.5-second lead on Bobby Labonte. Now, just to the right of Labonte will come Ricky Craven. There's Craven and Hermie Sadler. They are closing in on the second-place car, but Bobby Dotter separates them. The white car is Labonte. The yellow car is Dotter. The car with all the day glow on it is Ricky Craven, and then Hermie Sadler, 3rd and 4th. It's a good battle going there.
If that traffic slows them up just a little bit, Craven's going to have to deal with Sadler. We'll see Hermie drive right up on the back of the 99 car. 25 is really closing in on him right here. A few laps to go.
Burton comes past the stripe. 4 laps to go this time. His lead on Labonte stretching out 3.6 seconds now. 5 to go, rather.
This is when you don't care if you have any brakes left. You just run it as hard as you can now. Don't worry about saving them anymore.
Burton all by himself. He's got Nemechek there. And another car separating him from that battle for second, and that's a good one. Let's get that battle for second. There they are. Dotter went way up high to allow the cars on the lead lap to go.
Here we are in Hermie's car. That's a position in front of him. He says, hey, man, all I got to do is get around this guy. And then that's another position directly in front of that.
Hermie Sadler headed for his best career finish. Short career, 8 races, but he's had some strong ones. He's up in the points in 4th place, unofficially. Getting down to the final laps here. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Now, Ward Burton will get in some traffic here, but that will be of little consequence to the race leader.
That's Nemechek right behind him, who's laps down. You know, Ward's not going to take any chances here with 2 laps to go. He'll probably let Nemechek get on around if he needs to.
Yeah, Joe's 2 laps down. And we look back. There's that 2nd place battle. White flag. Bobby Labonte in 2nd. Sadler may have a run at Craven for 3rd.
Yeah, Craven had to go around on the car on the outside. That gives Sadler a little bit better run up off the inside. Now he'll probably drive it to the inside going down to turn 3.
We know Burton's going to win it. Here's the race for 3rd place. Sadler looks high. There's Burton. He takes the flag. Off turn 4 comes the race for 2nd. Labonte, Craven, and Sadler finish in that order. Chuck Bound comes home on the lead lap ahead of David Green. And Jeff Burton will also finish on the lead lap. For the 28th time in Busch Series history, a driver has won back-to-back races, Rougemont and Martinsville, to Ward Burton. Only 4 drivers have won 3 in a row.
Well, he's got an opportunity to be 5. He's got 2 of them down. This next race, he's just going to get busy with them.
We'll be back to Martinsville, Virginia to meet the winner, where Ward Burton has picked up his 4th career victory. We'll be right back.
Had a platinum plug in there, great performance. Next weekend, I had the split fires in there. Amazing difference. I couldn't believe it.
More complete combustion.
I use a lower octane now. It seems like it runs like I had the premium in there.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs.
I have them on my motorcycle, my boat, and my car.
America is talking about split fire.
I feel like I have more power. I feel like I have a new engine.
Split fire won a United States patent. It doesn't look like any other spark plug. It doesn't work like any other spark plug.
It saves me $2 or $3 a week. I went from probably 300 miles on a full tank to almost 400.
I love them. I'm saving at least $3 to $4 a week.
Split fire. At $5.99, it only costs more till you use it.
I'm going to stay with split fire forever.
Get guaranteed split fire savings at leading automotive stores from coast to coast.
3 reasons not to buy BF Goodrich TA tires. Being the center of attention makes you uncomfortable. You think a Little Deuce Coupe is a place where tiny chickens are kept. You think Lug Nuts is a high-fiber cereal. BF Goodrich TA tires when you're ready to get serious.
Hey, NHRA race fans, listen up. This is Pat Austin with a chance to win a trip for four to the biggest race of the year. That's right, the NHRA U.S. National, September 3rd through the 6th in Indianapolis, including round-trip air, hotel tickets to the All-Star Awards Banquet, and $500 cash. Red Wing Shoes is making all this possible with the Red Wing NHRA Labor Day Getaway. And all you have to do to enter is send a postcard with your name, address, phone number to this address. I'll announce the Red Wing Shoes winner June 15th on Nashville Now, but enter quick because this one's going fast.
Today's exclusive TNN coverage of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 has been brought to you by Splitfire, the patented performance spark plug. It only costs more till you use it.
It's the third career victory in the Busch Series for Ward Burton. Let's go to Glenn in Victory Lane.
And a very happy Ward Burton has climbed from his car now 2 in a row. Did you think you could do that?
I tell you what, Glenn, when I ran a little bit too hard there and the tires gave out on me, but Freddie and all the Hardys team have just been putting super cars under me, and I'm just tickled to death. I tell you, that last 130 laps, it just drove just easy, just a bit, just so I didn't spin the tires. We had a good shot at it.
Did you think maybe it was going away from you there in the middle of the race when those tires went away? Did that really worry you then?
Definitely. It went away, and the caution saved me, but, you know, we're learning, Hoosiers learning, my crew's learning, and we got a lot of good things to look forward to.
Well, I think you can look forward to seeing this guy in Victory Lane some more. There's a Busch beer on top of the car here. He's not old enough to drink it, but let's let him celebrate anyways.
Slow talking, fast driving man from Virginia, Ward Burton. We'll be back with more from the Miller Genuine Draft 500 on TNN right after these messages.
ASA Badgerland 150 Sunday live on TNN. Ronnie McDowell, the Jordanaires, DJ Fontana, and Scotty Moore. A tribute to Elvis. Nashville Now. TNN Wednesday.
CMT lights up with rising stars. Here's more about one of your favorites in this Rising Star Spotlight.
I've got nothing to do and all night to do. Yeah, I got nothing to do and all night to do.
Billy Burnett's musical roots sprouted in country and grew in rock and roll when he became a member of the rock band Fleetwood Mac. But in his new album, Coming Home, Billy truly does come home with his brand of music that he calls country with an edge.
I got tangled up in Texas. I was rolling like a tumbleweed. I got tangled up in Texas. I may never get back to Tennessee.
Billy Burnett is only one of country's brightest new stars, and you can catch them all on country music television all day, all night, all video, all right.
Ward Burton beats Bobby Labonte, Ricky Craven, Hermie Sadler, and Chuck Bound. Here is Craftsman Tools. When second counts, there's no time for second best. Craftsman, official tool of NASCAR, presents the Busch Series point standings. Steve Grissom, David Green, Joe Nemechek, Hermie Sadler, and Chuck Bound. Ward Burton will move up to 6th with his second straight victory on the Busch Series. For Neil Bonnet and Glenn Jarrett, I'm Mike Joy. Truckin' USA is next here on TNN. And join us for the Winston 2 weeks from tonight.